Alright. And it looks like we are now live. Yes, we are now live now. So, hello everyone. This is Arceus Rules here, and I am joined with a fellow buddy of mine. If you would like to introduce yourself.
Hello, name's Crimson Law. I do a lot of anime coverage.
Awesome. So, let me get this link all shared, and we will begin. Thank you again, Crimson, for being here. And just give me a second.
Dude, I have been there. There have been times where my PC really loves to switch my webcam mic and my actual recording mic, the one I use for streams and everything. So I'll go into streams completely unaware that it's switched, and I'll get people bombarding me with questions or with comments of your mic sounds like trash, or we can't hear you because sometimes the mic shuts off entirely.
Do I sound okay right now?
No, you sound fine. I was just making conversation while we're working some of these things out.
Oh my god, I am so dumb. Hold on a second. Okay. Save. And now we should be live. I had it on private. I do not know why I did that. Yeah, okay, so we are officially live. I am going to send you the link right now, Crimson.
Okay.
Alright. Yeah, so yeah, welcome. So we can do this again. Welcome, guys. My name is Arceus Rules. Thanks for coming and joining back and on this fine night. I have a good buddy of mine here, and we're going to be discussing some seasonal anime. So if you would like to introduce yourself.
Hello, name's Crimson Law, professional internet. I don't know which words are okay to say on the channel, so we'll just go with. I should rephrase the story. I do a lot of anime coverage, anime analysis, seasonal stuff. I do news talk on Saturdays on live streams, and just generally hang out there and chat with people about it. And I do have my opinions, and sometimes some very strong opinions. And I don't want to talk about anything to do with cats and elves today. I want to avoid that topic altogether.
Awesome. So I have officially sent you the link. I'm going to share it now to my Discord and Twitter, and then we will begin. Before we start, I do want to let people know that Crimson's socials are in the description. So if you'd like to go give him a follow on Twitter or on YouTube, he does a lot of anime talks, as he just mentioned before, and please support my guy. He deserves it. Alright, so while we're getting people... Oh, it's echoing. Hold on. Let me take a look.
Looks like right now you may be capturing the actual Zoom call, and that might be why it's echoing.
Yeah. Wait, say that again?
It looks like you may be capturing your Zoom call instead of anything else. So it might just be looping the audio through because you're recording and broadcasting the Zoom call end of it rather than I don't know if it's going to I don't know how particularly to fix this because I've never really messed with Zoom.
Yeah, let me test something. I just changed my settings. Just want to listen. Give me a second, guys. Sorry. Oh, it's better now. Awesome.
Alright.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like it's better. Yeah, awesome. Cool. Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay, sorry. So let me officially share this, and we're going to begin. It looks like we got some people in the chat, which is always great. I will get to you guys in a second. I think it's because I had all my OBS stuff on, and the mic and stuff. Um,
Yeah, I don't claim to be technically proficient. I'm just the monkey who can press enough keys to figure out something.
Awesome. Okay, so that's shared right now on there, and then let me put this here, and I think we're good. Let me see. Awesome. Okay, so welcome. Okay, discombulated. I sorry. I spelling's not my thing.
Discombobulated.
Discombobulated. Awesome. Thanks. I'm glad that the sound good. Let me know if anything, if it starts echoing again or anything of the sorts, and I will do my best to fix it. I'm not a computer science guy, so we will see. But yeah, welcome. Looks like we got 4 people in the chat right now. So as I mentioned to you before, Crimson, thanks for joining. And we are going to just go through my anime list right now and just discuss all the seasonal shows that are airing. So let's start off with Solo Leveling. How are you enjoying that one?
As far as solo leveling goes, I mean, I had been reading the manhwa before like the anime was even announced. It's a good series. I will say that it's certainly entertaining. But from my opinion, I generally enjoy it more from the like action standpoint in watching like Jinwoo sort of like flex on people throughout the series. That's where I get my entertainment out of it. The story is serviceable. It isn't garbage like some of the things that I've actually seen this season or even last season. I wouldn't say it's a bad story. It's just very basic. And the characters don't really hit me with anything that I feel is terribly compelling. But all around, it is definitely a really good anime, and if you're into like really well animated and choreographed action sequences, this is probably some of the best. It's up there with stuff like Demon Slayer, like the good fights from Jujutsu Kaisen, and I'm really particularly looking forward to next week's episode because that seems like it's going to be one of the big moments for the season as far as like the action and for this series to pop off.
Yeah, I think you've kind of taken the words out of my mouth. I think Soul Leveling is a good show. In my opinion, I like action series, and I think you're gonna start knowing my anime tastes and genres the more we start talking. I like Soul Leveling. I can respect it for it being a decent, if not a pretty good story right now. The animation looks great. The art is great. The characters are fine in my opinion, but I wouldn't say that it's my personal like anime of the season, or I wouldn't say that it's like my favorite show right now. Am I enjoying it? Yeah, but I can also understand people being like, this is one of the best shows airing this season because it's popular, and I acknowledge that.
Yeah, well, I have friends who are kind of like all across the board when it comes to anime. For me, it wasn't the big thing I was looking forward to this season. Those slots were particularly Apothecary Diaries, 100 Girlfriends, and the second core of ReZero Season 3. Those are like the big things I was looking forward to this season. But I won't dismiss Solo Leveling. I have friends who are like super into it. They really like it, and they're more into like the just straight action kind of stuff, and if the story is serviceable enough, then they enjoy the series.
Yeah.
I can respect that opinion because when it comes to anime or entertainment in general, everyone's going to have their different tastes and stuff. It's like trying to judge someone who only plays FPSs because they don't play survival games. Well, those are built for completely different crowds of people. Not everyone's going to like the exact same thing. This one, like I said, serviceable enough story. The characters are good. They aren't insufferable. The story works, and the action is good. So it is an entertaining series. And anyone who tries to say it's not entertaining, well, I think their tastes are
Yeah. Well, welcome, Mangoes. Thanks for joining the stream. Sorry if you got the time confused. Times are just hard sometimes to just figure out. So yeah, I get it.
Time zones, am I right?
I know, man. Right? Yeah. Yeah. Well, Yeah, I mean, if I have to, to finish up the solo leveling, segment, I'd say that the these episodes that we've been getting have been pretty good. I don't think I have enough content right now to say that season two's better than season one. I think episode two and the most latest episode have been probably by far my favorite episodes so far of the series. And I haven't read the source material. I've read a couple for some of the ones that we'll be getting to, but this is something I have not read or touched, and I'm excited to know more. I've heard the hype about Jeju Island and the Demon Castle, so I'm excited to be starting and finishing that this season, those arcs.
Yeah, I would actually agree that episode 2 and 5 have probably been the most exciting. And I feel like episode 6 here, this Saturday, will probably top both of those because it's going to be mostly like high octane action.
Nice. I can't wait then. I think a lot of people in the chat can agree about that, yeah. Awesome. So let's go on to Sakamoto Days. How are we feeling about this one?
So I have a bit of history with this series because I tried to pick it up in manga form like a year and a half ago. This would have been before the announcement of its anime. And it was alright. For me, I am very driven by like a story or characters that compel me when it comes to anime. And I just like wholesome John Wick, cool. But it wasn't doing it for me as a manga. And then the anime got announced, and I was like, you know what? I'll give it a try. And then there was the whole stink about everyone thinking it was going to be badly animated because of the OP that got released a couple of days prior. And I was sitting there like, the animation doesn't look bad. It's just not Solo or Demon Slayer or Fate. And for what it's worth, this story has been enjoyable. I did like the last couple of episodes with the whole boiled fight. I thought those were entertaining. Not the most amazing thing out there, but still one that I can see why people might like it because it still has its own entertainment value to it.
Yeah. That's I mean, again, I can say that I agree with you, and that Sakamoto Days is just as you said, with the whole people were complaining about the art and animation, and that the studio may not be adapting it correctly or giving us awesome fight scenes and everything. I mean, it's truly sad what the internet's come to make people think that to judge things too quickly. Unfortunately,
it's all people were acting like this was going to get the Ubel Blood treatment, which I actually went and started reading the manga on that one, and you will be surprised how radically different it is from the end.
It's crazy, yeah.
This one, you could see already, it was a decent, it was decently animated to begin. Is it the most spectacular animation? I think that's what newer anime has spoiled people on. It's let their imagination run wild as to what the best possible outcome is, and they've come to expect that out of every single studio. They don't seem to realize, though, that some of those animations take months or years to create.
Yeah.
There's a lot of work that goes into it, and I've kind of covered this as far as the animation industry goes, news and how healthy everything is as far as these companies are. It's a brutal area to work in. Underpaid, overworked, it sucks. So, getting this quality, this is the mid-teens level kind of quality as far as the fight scene goes. It's what I would expect to see out of something like, Naruto or Bleach or any of the popular shonens that came out in the era. But its story, again, I kind of feel the same way about this one as I do Solo Leveling. The action's cool, and it's a good enough story with good enough characters. It's just no one is in there that I feel like, oh, wow, this is a Rudius Gray Rider or a Subaru Natsuki. Someone there's layers upon layers upon layers of character development that you can look at and see all of the ways that that influences the story.
Yeah. Yeah, I it seems like we're, getting on the same page here too. I like Sakamoto Days. I think this show, in my opinion, has been getting better as the episodes have been going on. I think once episode 3 hit with the roller coaster episode, I think that's when the series has started to get pretty, I think, heavy and very entertaining, I should say. And we're starting to get into the juicy bits of the story now. And now that all the characters and the setup is all finished and everything, we can now finally get into what Sakamoto Days has to tell. And I think season 1 is probably not going to give a lot of the hype as most Shonen Jump, I think, adaptations start out with. But I think part 2 of Sakamoto may make people talk more about the show, I feel like.
One thing I will say is, in this latest episode, I do like the little bits of world building that they've done with the order and how the underworld works. That part of it has been interesting to me. Plus, they've also set up, I didn't get this far in the manga. So they also set up, this fact that someone is going around, killing assassins and all that. And that adds another level of intrigue to it. So I think this latest episode was probably was probably the best for a lot of reasons as far as the series goes. There's the wholesome element of it for where, Sakamoto just, wants to live his life with his family, his wife and daughter. At the same time, it's also got, a good action to it. And honestly, I really do like the intro because I'm a bit of a fan of Vaundy intros. And
I am too.
But I think a lot of people who complained about it were the victims of their imagination running wild. And they really, really, really wanted to see this be I don't know, season 2 of Demon Slayer, where you Mugen Train the movie.
Yeah.
They really wanted something like that because they felt like that was what it deserved. And obviously, I think any anime should, be produced to the best of its quality, especially after getting someone like me getting burned by an adaptation of one of my favorite mangas in the form of Berserk 2016. I can understand the you have expectations for the series and you want it to be well animated, and it doesn't quite live up to your expectations. But I even said this recently, where if you genuinely think Sakamoto Days has bad animation, I think you've been spoiled.
Yes, I can agree, and I do like the opening as well. To be honest, I don't think I can understand people not vibing with the animation and the art of it, because it does look very standard, and it looks very it just looks okay, right? But I think people need to understand, like you said, it feels like people have been spoiled from Demon Slayer's animation, and I think people need to realize that from the vibe it's getting from Sakamoto Days, that it's the first season, right? We're just we're not in the heavy hitting arcs of Sakamoto right now. I assume we will get there, but it just seems like the opening, we all know that the anime openings usually reflect how the seasons go, so I think it's just, hey, it's a very chill song because we're just getting started. Yeah. Well, we got some people joining. Hello, Caleb Watson and Bunny Brittany. Let the people complain. I'm still going to enjoy it. Exactly.
That's the best mentality you can have about anime. Unless it comes down to something where it's being horridly misrepresented on the internet, I don't really see a need to sit there and fight people over their opinions in anime. If they're just going out there I didn't like it because X, okay, that's a matter of taste. But if someone is going to horribly misrepresent a series that I like to try and explain why they don't appreciate it or why they're not going to watch it, then that's when I put on the boxing gloves.
Yeah.
And make an hour-long video on the topic.
Yeah, no, fair. I mean, I'm sure we will both agree that I don't. I tell this to people on Twitter all the time, and it's probably the worst place to even say it because people aren't going to care or listen. But I think people can have their opinions, right? It's just the matter of respecting it and just realizing, hey, it's not for me. And we're gonna have a couple of those, I'm sure, when we get down to the list and stuff. And it's just like, hey, man, glad you're enjoying it, but hey, it's not for me, But yeah, if that's all for Sakamoto Days, have you been watching Apothecary?
Yes. 2023. This was one of my favorite animes that came out that year because I really do enjoy mystery fantasy, and this one struck me as peculiar because I was really trying to figure out where it was going until the very last episode when I decided to tie everything together. And just from a technical standpoint, I thought it was like brilliant writing. Being able to take all of these seemingly disconnected events and suddenly tie them together in the context of like this massive potential conspiracy that's going down. That was something that I really did enjoy. Plus, the dynamic between Mao Mao and Qinshi has been hilarious to say the least, especially after the last episode where she's suggesting dressing him up as a woman to impersonate the quote-unquote moon fairy for their special envoys from the West.
Yeah. Well, here's going to be our first disagreement because I watched 3 episodes of the first season and I dropped it.
Yeah. It's one of those that, like, I almost describe this as like an acquired taste, much like some of my other favorite series. Because you really have to, like, be into the genre to begin with to get into it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a fantastic series and it's well written, but I can also see, like, not everyone's going to want to sit here and get through 24 episodes to find the secret point. I think it's a fun ride all the way there, but, I mean, well, some people just have terrible taste in anime.
Exactly, yeah. My girlfriend loves this show. It's probably her favorite sequel, if not in her top 5 at the very least. Which, given reasons, I understand. It's a very popular show with very well written characters. I understand that, and I'm sure it has a very interesting world. One thing is that I'm not the biggest guy on mysteries or a lot of series that have very, I wouldn't say complex plots, but there's it has a lot of information diving, I feel like. And it's not that I would never say like I hate this anime, like this is like garbage, like, or anything. I get it. It's just not for me. I'm not a big fan on the characters. I'm not a big fan on the whole mystery element, and I'm also not a big history guy, which I don't know much about history. So, and I'm not saying that this is a historic series, but with the elements of like I think it's Chinese culture, right? Or
it's based in the
what?
I know it's China. They based it in China because these past couple of episodes have been talking about people who have been traveling the Great Silk Road.
Yeah.
And if anyone knows anything about that, it's basically the trade routes that connected Europe and China because people really, really wanted silk and stuff from China, and China wouldn't tell anyone the secret because they knew they could exploit Europe for whatever wealth they could get.
Yeah. Well,
that random tidbits aside, it's a Chinese thing. I forget exactly what era it is, but around the medieval period, and it looks like it all takes place within the actual capital at the palace in Beijing, I believe, would be the city that it eventually becomes. I don't know if it's that yet.
Yeah.
I don't know terribly much about Chinese history.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Apparently, since I do not have the Pro for Zoom, do you have Google Hangouts so I can like transfer our call or something on there, or do you have another I guess option or app that I could put you on? Yeah, because for whatever reason it said like I had like a 10-minute left. I guess I could only have a 40-minute meeting or something like that. So or 30. So I don't want it to just like cut you off, and I'm like, what? Like, yeah. And if you just want to send it to me, and then I'll just obviously not show my screen, so then I can type in your information and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, if you have a Google account, apparently it just lets you do all this stuff. So
okay.
If you want to transfer over there, it should be good.
Yeah, sounds great. Yeah. Sorry about that. I didn't know about this. All right. Where?
But yeah, I mean, the things I can sell Apothecary Diaries on is if you like very detailed technically written stories, it's for you. If you like characters who are a bit more on like the realistically intelligent side, it'll be for you. And if you just want to see Mamo act like a drug addict at times, then yeah, it's entertaining.
Yeah, awesome. I do have the screen blacked out, so if you send me anything or if I need to type anything to get you connected, you're all good.
You're probably gonna need my email or something, right?
Yeah. If you want to forward that on Twitter or anything, that's fine. Yeah, but no. So in the chat we got welcome Kit Crow, thanks for joining. He says I'm not late again. Yeah, of course you're not. You're always late, man. Mr.
Did I just get my own email wrong?
And then
No.
And then Mystery Anime is the best. Awesome. Yeah, apologies that it ain't for me. I mean, I get the hype. I do. I understand that it's for a lot of people. I even went back and tried to oh, I'm back. What did I miss? We're trying to transfer calls. That's right now. But I even tried going back to watching it because a lot of the people that are on here that are joining us are in my Discord, and they love Apothecary. It's one of their favorite series. So I tried it again, and I think I got up to like episode, maybe it was 5 or 6, and I just was like, it just ain't for me, you know. It's not, like I said again, it's not like it's bad, it just ain't for me.
Well, I had something like that maybe it was over summer anime with pseudo harem. It was one of those ones where I was just like, yeah, I don't know if I'm feeling this one. Like, everyone talks about it a ton. I don't know. I'm not terribly invested in this one.
That's crazy, man. It was one of my favorites. Not the best of the series or best romance of the series, but crazy. I kind of like that one.
Well, I stream with a guy who the only reason we ever ended up meeting was because I saw his stream on the series and happened to disagree with his opinion on it. So
awesome. I'm going to do the video call right now on Hangouts. All right.
All right.
So guys, just give us a second, and we will be right back. All right. I'm obviously still here, but just give me a second, guys, and we will all be good. Yeah, we can do that. Yes, we can do that. I am sorry for that. It's obviously ringing. Obviously. Just give me a second. Gosh, man, I don't... That's clearly annoying to people. I am so sorry. But, I wish I could turn the volume. Maybe I could... Yeah, I can turn the volume down. But yeah, let's see. Can people?
Clearly annoying to people. I'm so sorry.
Let me see. Let me see. Hold on? I'm testing audio right now. Hold on. I'm testing it. Hold on. Okay, so people can still hear me. Cool. Awesome. Okay. Okay. Cool. Awesome. Okay. I'm always early. Okay. Yeah, I know, right? Okay, I'm back. What I missed? What anime? We're talking about Apothecary. Yeah, Pigs of the Phone. I know, right? Hey, welcome, mixes, welcome. Hold on. Let me see. Join. Okay. Hold on. You there, man? Hold on. I don't know if he's there. I feel so bad. All right, you're here, man.
Sorry, I am so utterly. I keep missing the most obvious cues to press like join buttons and stuff.
No, you were perfectly okay, man. You were perfectly okay. Yeah, no, I like the phone call was ringing and everything, and I was like, I had it on stream, and I'm like, oh my god, it's just ringing, and I was like, I need to turn this down, like and everything. But good to have you. Let me check, make sure that we all sound good, and let's see. Let me go back for a second. Okay, cool. We sound good. Awesome. We sound good. So the screen should be back. Let me just refresh my YouTube so I can look at the comments. We got some more people in the chat here. Welcome, Keo Dantes. I know it's mixes, but yeah, I'm watching on the TV, but too hard to type there. It's fine, man. No worries, man. So yeah, so we were. I know, right? I know. What a coincidence. I got the same shirt, right? So yeah, we were on Apothecary, and I feel like we were just finishing this up, but to give a good recap, not really the biggest fan. I know that you're really enjoying it, Crimson. Like I said before, a lot of people tried getting me back into the anime, and it just wasn't for me, but that's okay. Hey, Mixes, I hope the audio sounds a lot better since you were complaining last time it wasn't, but yeah. But is there anything else you'd like to say about it, man?
No, not particularly, because a lot of the things that we talk about might end up being spoilers. So, if a lot of people here enjoy the series, then I'm going to keep my mouth shut and just let things roll.
Awesome.
It's one of those ones where I don't want to talk too much detail about plot and all that.
No, understandable. Perfectly understandable. So that joins us to Dr. Stone, Science Future. Are you watching Dr. Stone?
Do I? As far as Dr. Stone goes, I'm trying to adjust my audio according to the chat. I haven't kept up since like the end of season 2, so I didn't see Ryusei, I haven't checked out Science Future. It's one of those ones where like I genuinely enjoy like the science, enjoyed the science part of it, but wasn't like a huge fan of where it went in some seasons. So
Interesting. I was not the biggest fan of season 1 of Dr. Stone. I don't know why. Didn't hate it. I just thought it was okay. I thought that was good. Didn't like really think much of it, but everyone around me was just like, this is awesome. This is like the best series that's airing this season, right? Stone Wars got me into the series like really heavily. Not sure if it's because of the whole Tsukasa and Senku fight, but it grabbed my attention, that arc. And then ever since Stone Wars, I really think Dr. Stone had its best arc with the Treasure Island and season 3. Season 4 is Aaron. Are you thinking about going back to it?
I may eventually. It's one of those ones where like I'm not opposed to it. It's just that like when it comes to my backlog, I generally tend to pick a shorter series or whatever when I have a holiday or something.
Yeah.
Just sit down and enjoy some anime, or even like in between seasons. Like in between fall and winter this year, I actually caught up on a couple of things I was backlogged on. One in particular was an Archdemon's Dilemma, How to Treat Your Elf Bride.
Yeah.
I watched stuff like that. I also got bullied into watching all of Tokyo Ghoul for a stream because there are two guys who I'm friends with who really, really love Tokyo Ghoul.
Yeah.
So that was a thing.
Just making sure all the mics are good. Yeah, no, I'm really enjoying Dr. Stone. I mean, I got my girlfriend into it. Who it's one of her favorite series, honestly, of all time, which was kind of surprising to get her into it. But I think it's doing really good. Crims, it looks like your audio's a little low.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if there's anything I can do on my end, but it doesn't.
Let me see if there's like an option on Hangouts or something.
Yeah, general audio. It doesn't give me any options to turn it up. All I can do is turn the gain up, like all the way up on my microphone, and I don't know if that's going to help anything.
Yeah, you do. Okay, yeah, you do sound a little bit low from looking or listening to it for a second. But yeah, I hear you. I hear you at the very least. Sorry, man. I know this is our first time doing this, so apologies.
Nah, it's fine as far as that goes. I mean, that's something that can be sorted out that we can talk about afterwards. But for now, we can just keep it to the anime stuff.
Awesome.
I don't know how to fix my audio because I have my mic gain all the way up right now.
People in the chat, if the audio starts sounding louder or softer, just please let us know, and we would appreciate it. But for now, I think we're just gonna keep going on like this. No, I to go back to Dr. Stone, I'm really enjoying it. I think like season 4 is now starting the like we're now starting getting into the plot of Dr. Stone. So I think it's kind of too early to judge right now, but from what I've seen right now, it's pretty good. I'm really enjoying it. The characters make the show. The one complaint that I have been seeing online and that I've been seeing or that already exposed to in the anime is that a lot of people are upset that like this is the beginning of Dr. Stone, where a lot of things that are being invented and made are like just going to be like, whoa, there's a plane, or wow, there's a gun, or there's this or that, like these things that take a while to make, especially in the Stone world, seem to be like just kind of popping out of thin air or like advancing quicker than it should be, which I completely understand. But I mean, what can you do? Yes, the America arc.
America.
Yeah. Are you watching My Happy Marriage?
This is another one that's on my backlog that I do need to get around to, but I had planned to watch season 1 so I could watch season 2 this season, and then just never got around to it. It's one that I know I should watch and will probably like, but just perpetually forget to get around to.
Understandable. I'm gonna have a little interesting stance on this because I like complaining to my Discord peeps that are probably wanting a good explanation, but love season 1. I love season 1. It's really good. I really don't have many complaints. I think it's a very interesting and fun romance. Season 2 right now to me has been a little bit boring. It has been a little bit I'm trying to find the right words. It's just been okay. And I think what really bothers me, without kind of spoiling it for anyone, or is that primitive boo is that I don't like Mio is the main girl is a very shy girl that has a lot of trauma from season 1 basically, which is very understandable. What I really want from her is to be, to grow and to be, and to stand up for herself bit by bit. I understand that it takes some time, but I think I'm just wanting her to just, to improve a little bit more, grow up in a sense. But it's kind of hard, I guess. One, because she's right now, the current arc we have is we're in an environment now, or in the new arc, where they're treating all the women kind of like, oh well, you're supposed to be in the kitchen, and the men are on the front lines, because they're still fighting these supernatural beings and stuff like that. So I think being in an environment like that is definitely troubling for to expect that growth, but it still makes me a little bit like, I want you to stand up for yourself, Mio, But the relationship and the romance is very wholesome, and I really don't have much to complain about besides what I've just said.
No, it's one I do plan to catch up on. It is in my backlog because a lot of the people who I have talked anime with, or a lot of anime channels that I've seen that I follow, have talked very, very positively about it. So
yeah,
unfortunately, I have a lot of things I need to do, and I don't have enough time to do them all.
Sounds like everyone in the world, right? Yeah. So 100 girlfriends. 100 girlfriends. Do you want me to go first?
I'm checking something really quick on my my end for settings. So you can go ahead.
Okay. Hold on, just making sure everything's all good. Oof. And okay, yeah. Sorry, guys, about the whole mic thing. Obviously, it's probably hard.Maybe Discord would be better next time, but for now, it's a test, right?
I assume you avoid using Streamlabs because it costs money to have a subscription to that, right?
Yeah, unfortunately.
I have a friend who has the same problem. I believe Restream is free, and it's a similar platform, or it's a similar style.
Okay.
So that might be something I was gonna suggest that as far as this kind of content goes. It may be a little bit easier. It took a little bit of a learning curve. Let's see if I can.
Yeah, we can for sure figure that out next time when we do one. But 100 girlfriends, right? At the very least, you're watching it, or I'm just not trying to spoil you, man.
I am farther ahead in the manga than where the anime is. So if anything, I would be spoiling other people.
Okay. Okay, cool. Okay, so 100 Girlfriends, really good. Honestly, I think season 2, even with these 4 episodes, are probably, if not on the same level as season 1. I'm really enjoying 100 Girlfriends. This series is just wild, and I love the ride, that it's taken me on. It's very comical. It's just very entertaining, and just the episodes feel so short. It is just really fun. I like this show. This show became one of my all-time favorites after I rewatched it dub for the season 1, and I love the characters. I love the parody and comedy that it offers, and yeah, there's really not much more to say. I like this show.
So I have done actually 2 reviews on this series, one for the manga and one for the anime. And unfortunately for me, one of the clips that came out of my review of the manga inspired one of my trolls slash internet friends to make a whole hit piece video on it. Now it is the first thing anyone who Googles my channel will find, the dark truth of Crimson Law, and that includes my family.
Yeah.
So they see this whole shtick about me being in some gay incestuous relationship with my brother. It's ridiculous. Anyway, this series should have been everything I hated at the time when I picked it up, but it was too ridiculous not to love. I got addicted to the manga. It quickly became one of my guiltiest pleasures, and from there, the anime came out, and I was really excited. This season, noticing some of the characters in the background who become girlfriends later has been funny. And the fact that they leave some jokes out. I'm glad they did the her name chapter, and they made all the jokes about it being a parody of Your Name.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the one thing I will note that was drastically different was Mado's backstory was actually given some context in the anime. In the manga, they literally just overlooked it because, and Mado explains, well, my backstory was far too dark for this manga, and the editor wouldn't let it pass. So we'll just have to skip that for now.
Yeah, I hope your audio's a little fixed. I went to OBS to see if maybe just increasing it would help.
But yeah, this series has been nothing short of absolutely amazing to me. I love this series this is to romance what Konosuba is to isekai. Just an absolute lampooning of every single possible trope.
Yeah.
Within the genre. So I like it. They haven't even introduced some of the funnier girls who are part of the group this season. I believe her name is Iko. I think she's probably the next one on the list, or the baseball chick. We'll just leave it with the baseball.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't think they're going to get all the way to people like Natty or the Kendo lady.
Yeah. There's a lot, yeah.
Well, when you have 100 girlfriends, and of course there's been the memes now since Comey Can't Communicate is wrapped up.
Yep.
100 out of 100 friends. Now it's your turn. It's just Rentaro with 38 out of 100 girlfriends.
I know, right? And can I just say, the character designer for the season, or just even for the series, is doing an amazing job. I don't know if you saw on Twitter that it looks like they had a meltdown kind of trying to put this series together, but they're doing a great job.
Yeah, I talked a little bit about that on Saturday Night Live, but yeah, it was one of those things where they had a complete breakdown, and that honestly, I'm sad to say, doesn't shock me considering the crunch and cram that goes on with some of these productions.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about the girl I hate in my class I'm getting married to.
Hey, just did a video on this one.
I watched it, man.
I really do like this series. Do I think it's the most amazing romance out there? No. But I think it did strike a pretty good balance between the humor of the tsundere aspects of Akane and the more serious character development moments, when she gets jealous of her best friend asking her husband out. There were some good moments in that last episode. Across the series, I feel like its biggest weakness has been that the first episode felt more rushed than it should have been. It was one episode instead of two. I feel like it probably would have been better if they split that whole thing over the course of 2 episodes. But that's just my opinion on it.
No, I mean, you literally took the words out of my mouth. I felt the same with episode 1.
Shisei being absolutely unpredictable is another element of humor that I like. Where she really is just the backbone of the comedy element. like, here, take this legendary sword, or I laid a trap for you, which she just lays on the ground and expects to get stepped on.
I like the like chibi like animation when they when they get into their little chibi forms, they just start arguing and stuff like that. Like those scenes are really funny and like look amazing.
Yeah, actually, the way they animate the conflicts between the characters, to make them more humorous, that is like a really good way to accent that and convey how it's really supposed to be portrayed. Because I mean, if you sat there, it wouldn't have the same effect, I don't think, if they had done it the same way they did the rest of the anime. So them actually like being portrayed in the chibi animation style while they're fighting helps sort of carry across like this is something that's actually kind of funny to laugh at.
Yeah.
Particularly when Akane gets all like upset over something really, really minor.
Yeah.
Your very existence is a pain to me.
I like this show. I really like it. I did not really like the first like episode or two. I didn't. Three like confirmed I was giving this a full watch. I think the newest episode was probably one of my favorites. I like that the blonde girl told Akane that, hey, if you have feelings for him, as a spoiler, if you guys have not seen the episode, that, like, I will back off. I am not here to be your rival and stuff like that. Like, I'm like, oh, thank you. Like, I like the characters. If I have to complain really anything about it, I'm not really a big fan of the cousin, but that's just me. Just not into that stuff. But yeah.
As far as the cousin thing goes, like I do really feel like it's going to be another one of those situations like Alia sometimes hides her feelings in Russian, where like the actual intent the character has towards some of these interactions gets buried under how people initially react to it. Like I put out my whole argument about like Yuki doesn't act like Alia sometimes hides her feelings in Russian. I put out my opinion that Yuki doesn't really act like she actually wants to do anything to her brother. She just there's a bunch of like layers to this, like her home environment and like everything, all the ways she's supposed to be behaving and all that, and where this is really the only place where she gets her outlet, and all of a sudden it just literally no inhibitions when it comes to the things she wants to reenact or tease her brother over.
Yeah.
I feel like with Shisei, particularly because of certain lines that are said in episode 4, the one before this, really all she wants is for Saito to actually like have a happy life for once.
Awesome.
Because the series has pretty much implied that he's been kind of just like there for his entire life.
Yeah.
But I do agree that this latest episode was easily the best, particularly because of Saito teasing Akane, pretending like he was going to go out to the date.
Yep. That was amazing. That was awesome. Yeah.
And then, like, right at the end, she's like, I'm not going to lose to you.
Yes. No, I loved it.
What am I saying?
I like this show. I don't think it you're gonna hear me say this a lot. I don't think it's a top 5, but it is really fun, and I'm happy. I'm very happy. I stuck to episode 3 because like I really feel like I'm actually watching a story with it's just the guy and the girl, and I feel like they are just focusing on them. Like yes, Shisei's there, the blonde hair girl is there, right? But like I actually feel like we are focused on them two mainly, and I like that.
Yes. I also don't think it really has like a character who like annoys me or turns me off. That's another thing that I think is good for it.
Yeah.
I like, for the same reason I enjoy 100 Girlfriends, I like Shisei's antics just because she's the unhinged comedy character.
Yeah.
And you never quite know what to expect. But the fact that it does focus primarily on Akane and Saito means they get a lot of good, like, focused moments, and you get to see a lot of their interactions together. And it does well at selling the whole romance between them much more as time goes on.
Yeah.
I also have a little bit of a story on this one. I actually found this all the way back when it was it was being put up on YouTube actually as web manga. There's a series that you can find, it's an 8-part series on YouTube that you can find that's all manga, exact same character names from what I remember.
Wow.
With the exact same premise. And there are some moments where I kind of really, really hope they actually get to that were in that web manga. They have a whole arc in there about how they get rings and Akane gets really, really attached to them and then ends up losing hers by accident.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's stuff like that may or may not get covered. And then there are other things in that web manga series that just didn't make sense, like the grandfather building an entire fucking zoo or safari zone inside of Tokyo to force the two to spend the night together.
I think it's funny that he wanted to give his his hand, the mansion or the shrine or whatever to a dog, a random dog.
He was gonna give the entire company, yes.
All right, going on to Zenshu now.
I have not watched the latest episode of this. It's one of the ones still on my backlog.
Okay, so Zenshu was an anime that I also did not really like the first episode on, to be honest. The animation is not a seller to me, to keep a series. It looks beautiful. It's by Mappa. We get it,
Well, yeah, I felt the same way about Momentary Lily.
Yes,
yes. It was all flashing lights. This one I actually did like in the first episode, though not as much as it wasn't the huge selling point for me.
Yeah.
For this, I was more so intrigued by the irony of Mappa making an anime about an overworked animator.
Yeah. No, I think that's kind of awesome. Funny, not awesome, I feel that shouldn't ever happen, but it's kind of ironic. I think this show is fine. I wouldn't say I have any complaints on it, but I also wouldn't say it's my favorite either. It's more that I feel like I'm watching because I'm what's gonna happen next? We're getting close to the end of the story and everything, of what the movie was and everything, and I guess I'm just kind of curious to see how it ends. And I'm also Sunday is not really a big anime day for me, so it's more of okay, I can fit this in. It's also dubbed, so I can just have it on and just kind of do some other things, but just also kind of know what the internet's talking about, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Its story isn't the greatest when it comes to an isekai thing. I feel it kind of suffers from a lot of anime, original anime things that are just anime first and then other mediums later. Tend to suffer on the story side, and I think that's because when it comes to adaptations into anime, a lot of those series have been published because they actually have some sort of draw to them.
Yeah.
These are entirely new. Some of them are really good. I still argue that Licorice Recoil is an amazing anime. I love that one.
Yeah.
This one's good. There are others that just aren't terribly amazing. And I will go back to Momentary Lily. That is all flashy lights and nothing substantive.
Yes. Yeah.
One that can easily be dropped after the first episode when you realize that all the characters are just catchphrases. This one actually does a good job of working with its characters, making things kind of funny and entertaining. I do like that everyone seems to bully the unicorn.
Yeah.
I think that's funny.
I think the unicorn's voiced by the dub actor of Ochako from My Hero and Nami from One Piece. But you probably...
For some reason, I was thinking Mineta from My Hero Academia.
Well, I'm talking about the dub. I don't know if you're watching that or the sub, so...
I've been watching dubs. Okay. I had a whole conversation about the fact that the main character is voiced by the same chick who does Rudy is Great Rat. Yeah!
I like that. to finish up on my stance, I think the story's okay. I think the characters are okay. I think this is a good, solid rating from what Mal has it. I think it's not. It's by far not close to any of my favorites this season, but it's also not bad. I think it's just a okay, if not a good series. That's it.
Hold on a second. I'm gonna pull something up from my screenshots because I keep track of this. I think I put this in just like my interesting category.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like middle of the pack in like my interesting category, which is it's watchable and fun, but by far not the most amazing thing. It's one of those things where like you can pick one of you can pick so many of these to watch in a season and you'll be satisfied.
Yeah.
It's one of those series. I do genuinely think it's worth a watch, but I wouldn't say it's one of those things like, I don't know, Shangri-La Frontier, where I would absolutely insist that you watch it.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess speaking of Shangri-La, unless you had anything else left to say on Zenshu.
No, not really. I think I kind of feel like there isn't a whole lot to say on that. Other than I do really like some of her like more zany ideas for her like animation powers.
Yeah.
Like the cat in the mask.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's knock out some of the core twos if that's okay with you real quick.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So, Blue Box. Are you watching that?
Yes.
Okay.
It's like one of the only sports manga I have ever touched.
Awesome. Yeah, same. Love Blue Box. I've said it several times on this channel. It's one of my favorite romances. I love this show. I mean, I think you and I had the same opinion on Hina and Chinatsu about if you're going to write Hina as a character like that, you know, don't make them rival Chinatsu, and I agree.
Yeah, it's really its biggest issue. It's a solid series overall. I like a lot of the themes it has around like sports and like chasing your goals, the dedication and hard work it takes to be number one, that kind of stuff. There's really good stuff there. And Chinatsu is not a bad character. She's actually like a good, like endearing love interest. But when you talk about like chemistry between two characters, I feel like Taiki has better chemistry with Hina.
Yeah.
She's just a far more interesting, more endearing character. And part of that is the fact that she's willing to just like goof off and be silly a whole lot more, especially with like everything that went down with the last episode there where she's like practicing for the play.
Yeah.
That's really its biggest weakness. Is it's obviously losing heroine is the better choice.
Yes, I agree. And I think a lot of people in the chat will agree with that too. I'm liking Shangri-La. This Abyss arc is going to be cool. I think the how they're combining the GGC arc and the Abyss arc kind of together, because they do that in the manga as well. They're kind of like setting up both arcs at the same time, and I think that's very interesting. But I'm liking it.
Yeah, I'm really liking what they did with the second Lycagon fight there.
Yes.
That was cool. There were some really, really good shots of animation there. Like, two in particular, like when there are a couple of really good dynamic shots of Sunraku fighting Lycagon, and then how they finished that fight with Armageddon.
Yes.
That was a really good looking moment for the series.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like, I just love how, like, zany and over the top the characters could be. Like, every one of our main crew, Oikatsu, Sunraku, Pencilgon, they're all just, like, the most, like, ridiculous caricatures.
Yes.
One's an absolute bully, the other is ultra competitive, and Sunraku just really, really likes a challenge.
Yeah. I agree.
It's when I reviewed the first season of this, I made the joke in my script, like, it just literally let me solo her the anime, and then I went to go find some like images to like make that meme, and I found out apparently everyone was making that joke about the series. I'm like, shit, it's a broken record at this point.
Yeah. If I have to say anything, because I've talked to some Discord people, they're not really a big fan of Pencil Gone, and I understand, that's just her character. I get it. I'm enjoying, like, I enjoyed when Sunraku paired up with Rei and the Ninja Girl. I like them. I think the fight with all three of them was really entertaining, and I liked their character interactions with all of them.
I'm really just glad that Rei finally got her moment to hang out with Sunraku.
Yes, yes, sir.
I'm just sitting there like, you go, girl.
Exactly, same, man. I know Dragon Ball Daima is continuing, but I don't know if there's really much to say.
Yeah, really all I can say is it's, I don't know, I guess watchable would be the best way to describe it.
Yeah. A lot of people...
I don't think it's, like, intrinsically terrible. I just think it's one of those things where, like, it peaked way early on and then just hasn't lived up to the part of it that was really, really entertaining.
Yeah.
Especially after they did that whole, like, crash landing filler arc where this one random giant child, power scales Goku and Super Saiyan.
Yeah. I know a lot of people already know my opinions on it, but I'll just give a little short summary. I'm enjoying it. I have never watched every episode of Dragon Ball. I haven't even really touched the original, but I've watched Zekai. I've watched like Super, and I've watched some movies of it. I'm a decent Dragon Ball fan. Wouldn't say that I'm the biggest, but I like it. I'm enjoying this series, as I've told a lot of people, but I do understand the complaints. I get that there's not a lot of action. I get that a lot of people have a lot of problems with Goku and the gang struggling with enemies, and when they should be basically powerful as gods, and everything. I get it. This is a show I turn on just Friday, and I'm just watching. I turn my brain off, and I'm enjoying it. And I think it's ending this month. At the end of this month, I think it's going to have 20 episodes. I'm pretty confident and that'll be it. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see it with how it's going. I kind of figured it was just going to do the full, 24, and then that would be it.
Yeah, if I remember correctly... Yeah. If I remember correctly, Hulu said something about Dragon Ball Daima being episode 20 being the end of it. Hulu accidentally confirms Dragon Ball Daima, let's see, finale, ending at episode 20. Yeah, so I'm sharing it on screen right now. So I don't know if that's the end of Dragon Ball mixes, but I'm not sure. I don't know if they go back to Super, if they do more spin-offs and someone else is doing it.
I doubt it will die. I know it's probably not in the best place, but it's too relevant to anime because it has inspired so many of the core concepts of shonen by now.
Yeah.
To really have it just completely vanish. If I had to take a guess, I mean, considering there's some issues over who holds the rights for it, it will probably take some time, but then go back to Super. If I had to take any guessing,
probably I could see that. Are you watching Amagami Sisters?
Yes.
Let's
absolutely.
Go. Awesome. I like this show. I really, really like this show. I think almost every episode I can say has made me just kind of I'm not saying I feel the characters, but I just think it's a very well written story. Something something sad happens, right? Something happy happens, and I just am like, oh my god, like that is just very good storytelling. Like I like the characters.
Yeah, there are three aspects to this that I think make it a really, really good romance, and like a surprisingly good contender when it actually comes to romance overall.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people will complain about harem stuff. I don't care about harem.
Yeah.
I actually enjoy harem stories.
Yes.
This one, first of all, characters are really good. Each one feels like distinct and likable in their own way, and they all get their own form of development that actually like helps you be endeared to them.
Yes.
Like, as far as like my favorite character in here, I've always liked Asahi.
Nice. Yeah.
Like I just think she's the most fun of the characters. Yae is just ditzy and funny, and it's usually like that's usually my type when it comes to animated women.
Yeah.
But in this case, the youngest sister was probably my favorite. So there is those two things, and then pretty much just like the romantic development overall. It's done a really good job of balancing its story with these supernatural elements, its character development, and actually like going for some romantic progress. Which, if you watch this latest episode, which I literally did before this stream,
yes,
that was a really, really good episode.
I agree, man.
It's probably my favorite episode of the whole series so far.
That's crazy. That's crazy for you to say, but I like perfectly understandable. Like I get it. I did not like Asahi at first. I did not. But speaking of like one of the favorite episodes, I liked the episode when she was running, you know, like she was doing, I think it was the first time she ran the marathon against the blonde girl. And he and our boy Uryu, I don't know how to like pronounce it, but he is just running with her, and her sisters are just cheering her on. I just, oh my god, like it hit the heart, man. Yeah.
Now, I can understand why some people might not like Asahi, because she is a little bit more of like the devil of the three of them.
Yes.
And like her obsession with like being seen as an adult doesn't really like fit the younger sister thing. But I thought like overall like her character was like fun, and she was really like one of the first ones to show some like true interest in Uryu after being locked in the shed with him and all that.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry.
But I mean, it became a toss up between her and Yae, because they both are like, their personalities are just like too funny and too fun at times to just not like them.
Yeah. I have no complaints about any sister. I like Yuna for just being Yuna, you know.
I doesn't like a good tsundere. I know a lot of people will complain about them, but those people are wrong. Tsunderes are great.
Yeah, I can't wait for her to get her arc, whether it's the anime or that I go to the manga after. I like Yae. I think she's probably my favorite, but I do not, like I can say at this moment, I did not like Asahi at first. I like them all. They are all very good, well-written characters. And then I think I found out that they were an assistant, the writer to Quintuplets. If I'm not mistaken, the author, I think, was an assistant for Quintuplets. Correct me in the chat if I'm wrong or if I'm right. I don't know. But I think I remember something like that. I just think this guy knows how to write a good harem. Like, this is really good. And I think if people are, you know, hesitant on, I don't like harem, so, you know, I'm ignoring everything you say, like what you guys are saying right now. This is something that I don't really think focuses on ecchi, unless you're counting the first episode, but, you know, that's first episodes, right? I don't think it has a lot of ecchi. I don't think it has the, oh, no, he's mine type jealousy fighting over. This is really good. Like, if you want a harem that does not focus on themes of, you know, like, I don't want to see fan service or like fighting over the main dude, right? I think this is really good for that.
Yeah. Also, I will say that the Core One intro, I really did like just as a song. Like it was one of those ones that I ended up putting on my playlist. Actually.
Oh, I did. Me too. Me too. I like it. I think the second opening.
It felt so unique because it had I don't want to say quite ska sounding to it, but it had some unique sounds to it that were like, okay, you know what, I kind of vibe to this. Like, I can get on, I can listen to this while I'm tearing out a drywall.
Yeah.
Chunks of drywall and
yeah.
just random facts about me. You know, I listen to the weirdest shit. I had my boss walk in on the job site once while I was listening to Attack on Titan intros, and he asked, "What the hell are you listening to?"
Yeah. I'm gonna make this one quick because I don't think anyone likes it but me. I'm enjoying A Terrified Teacher at Ghoul School. It's not the best anime, I understand, but I'm enjoying it, and I think it's funny. I think it's a good comedy, but if
I can say nothing about it because I have not watched it.
I think it's fun. I don't think I would ever recommend it to people, but it's a good comedy. That's all I'll say. Trillion Game was probably my favorite anime airing last season. I don't know if you're watching that or if you did.
I have been watching it, but I've only been keeping up with the dubs on it.
Okay, the dub is really good. Yeah, I can agree. I like Trillion Game. I think the characters are fun. I like that, they're like adults, basically. And they're basically just trying to become trillionaires. I like this show. It's really fun, and I just love it.
It's entertaining, but I think one of the biggest issues, and I've actually heard a couple of people complain about this, the art style was their biggest
Yes.
barrier to entry, really.
Yeah.
And that's why I've enjoyed sort of like watching it dubbed, quote unquote, because I can turn it on and also play something like Minecraft or Monster Hunter while I'm watching it.
Yeah. Yeah, and yes, mixes. I had almost everyone try Ghoul School because I had I really liked it when it first came out. But I like Trillion Game. I'm glad that you also agree. Are there any other core twos that I may be missing or anything that you would like to talk about? I unfortunately have not started Orb yet. If you have,
well. I mean, I have been watching Orb, and one of the things I will say is that it does that a lot of series that handle like religious topics will like fall into the pitfall of. It doesn't go out of its way to try and like berate everyone of whatever religion it's handling.
Yeah.
This one, you have people of all like different opinions on it. Like various people who like who don't believe in God, who do believe in God, who are like on the border somewhere about that, all handling this topic on both sides. So in that way, it's really well written. I also like that they are. It gives a little bit of like historicity to where like there are a bunch of different opinions about like the religious material as well as the scientific material that it's actually covering. In that sense, its balance is really one of its best attributes. The biggest complaint I can say, or the two big complaints that I have about it, is that it can be slow at times because there's a lot of philosophizing in it, and a lot of the shots, because they take place at night, are very dark, and it makes it kind of hard to see at times. Otherwise, a very good show, really well animated. I do like the intro to it. It is absolutely worth a try.
Okay, yeah. I have nothing against it. I just a lot of people have been like loving it that I've talked to and everything, and it's more that I just missed it. Like I missed the hidden gem last season, and didn't even like know it was like something until people started talking about it, and I'm like, gosh. And then I saw it was on Netflix, and I'm like, gosh. And then I was like, maybe I should wait till it ends. So I was like, I don't know. I am trying it though for sure. Yeah.
The only other one that I would mention that is a core two that I do really like is ReZero, but that doesn't start up again until tomorrow, so I gotta hold off on that one.
Okay, awesome. Okay.
Because, I mean, I don't know if there's any fans here or not. I don't want to spoil it too much. It's just, like, I've already read this part in the novels. And, like, I'm really, 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 really excited to see them finally covering Arc 5 and the counterattack. So.
Nice. Yeah. I know Don Machi and Ari Freda are airing still, but I'm not even caught up. I don't know if you want to talk about them or if you even care.
The only thing I can say is, like, I have a hot take in saying that Ari Freda deviated from the most interesting part of it within, like, 4 episodes.
Wow.
Yeah, I have a hot take on that series. I am not a fan of it. I can't say anything about Don Machi because I haven't watched it myself, but I do plan at some point to at least give it a try.
Yeah. I dropped Ari Freda after season 1, and I'm still still trying to get into Don Machi, but yeah.
Look, Ari Freda, I didn't care much for, especially after taming the dragon by sticking something up her ass.
Yeah.
Or that awful, like, CGI at the very end of that first season. But it will never be as bad as Demon Lord Retry, and, well, don't get me started on that experience.
That's crazy that sorry, I went back to winter. It's crazy that I have the girl that I'm marrying in my class has about the same rating on Mal as the Guild Girl, which we're going to be talking about now. Yeah, be my guest, man.
This one, I got bullied into watching because the guy I stream with on Mondays, Biggles Mets, he really, really loves this series. And honestly, I put it in my very good category. It's one of those ones that I would highly suggest checking out if you haven't. It is a bit tropish, particularly with, like, some of their, like, fantasy abilities. They use, like, the game world overlay of, like, skills and stuff.
Yeah.
Like Adventurers Guild, okay, a lot of those tropes and stuff. They do a little bit of a twist, though, with making her a guild receptionist and having a somewhat interesting world building.
Yeah.
It's a fun show. And I do like that they're focusing more and more with every, like, passing episode on this, like, romance aspect that's kind of been happening in the background.
Yeah.
And it hasn't gotten, like, too terribly dark so far, so it's kind of a nice, like, relaxing series to just turn on after a hard day at work.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I think it's a good show. I like the fantasy element in the world. I think it's hilarious that basically she's just a guild receptionist just because, you know, the benefits, and literally she can clock out on time and get a great retirement when it happens. But the reason why she cannot clock out on time is because people keep finding more dungeons and there's more monsters and paperwork to do. So if you're looking for something that we're focused on a guild receptionist instead of, like, a main character that's, you know, that talks to the guild people and they just show up for, like, less than a second. This is a great story, I think, focused on something in a fantasy world that we get a side of a guild receptionist just trying to clock out on time. I think it's good. There's not really much to say. I like the action. I think Cloverworks is doing a great job. But I think it's fun. I think it's like a good 7 probably to me.
Yeah, I think a 7 is a good rating for it, honestly. Or I would put it like a high 7, honestly, closer to an 8 if I had to, like, give, like, a precise rating for it. But it's definitely in that range. It's one that I can, like, understand why people wouldn't enjoy, but I think it's a shame if, like, they and skipped out on it entirely just because they saw the tropes or the title.
Yeah.
And didn't at least give it a try.
Yeah.
I will say, though, the outro to this one is better than the intro.
Yes, I agree. Yes. Yeah. All right. Honey lemon soda.
No, that was an interesting one for me, honestly, because I'm generally like not really into like very very shoujo romances.
Yeah.
Just because like my big issue with them is they tend to be like really really touchy feely and introspective in ways that women generally tend to like romances written more than men.
Yeah.
I can do the general analysis of like the difference between male romance and female romance in that regard. Is you can tell if something's written for women if there's a lot of like focus on people's reactions to certain events versus like in a shonen romance like Love is War, more so just like the events themselves are the actual focus.
Yeah.
This one I did not expect to like get into, but I did like kind of the premise, and I ended up actually really liking the main character and how she's developed over the past couple of episodes. Big complaint about this one is I feel like one of the things that they really just botch in this series is the background music feeling way too dramatic for scenes that are more comedic.
Yeah, I can understand that.
You have like Uka reacting to like some of the goofy stuff that her gal classmates do, and it's got like this really like somber, emotional music going. I'm like, am I supposed to laugh or feel sorry or what?
Yeah. I think Honey Lemon Soda is a good show. I didn't particularly like the beginning of it. I just wasn't really vibing with it, I guess, at first. But again, by giving it up to like I think it was episode 3, I really enjoyed it. I for sure am going to stick to the end with this. I started reading a little bit of the manga just to see like how events are going to unfold for this season, and I like the characters and that there's a lot of them that interact with each other, and it kind of feels like Horimiya a little bit.
Yeah, there is a little bit of that reminiscence in it. And I was kind of in the same boat when I watched the first episode of this. I felt like, I don't know if I'm sold on this yet. Because this may get me crucified, but like I wasn't a huge fan of like A Sign of Affection or A Condition Called Love. They weren't bad series. They were just ones that ended up not being for me.
Yeah.
Because of my actual problems with just shoujo romance in general and the way it's written.
Understandable.
But this one I gave a shot. I did end up kind of liking it because it focused more on like the aspect of Ishimori, the main character, like trying to get over her own like introvert personality and dealing with some of the bullying that resulted because of that. Those two things I think kept me invested in the story to the point where I actually really started to like it.
Yeah, I think it's a good show. All right, we are now approaching more romances and slowly getting to Medica. Aren't we ready for that? Okay. I have a crush at work.
Segs. Enough said.
Yeah. I really want more from this series, but I'm enjoying it so far. I like the adult setting. I think it's so dumb. It is so dumb that they have to pretend to just not know each other at work, and that they, just have to be like, rude to each other. It's so dumb, but it's funny.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
No, you're fine, man. I like it. I like the adult setting. I'm gonna keep watching it till the end. I like that they do adult things, as you implied, and I am really enjoying the side characters. I think it's a good romance.
It is a good romance, and it's another one of those that I would say it isn't like the greatest of all time. I would say it's one of the romance of all time. Okay.
Yeah.
It's in there. It is a romance.
Yes.
But like you said, them keeping the workplace, their relationship secret from the workplace, it seems a little like unnecessary, but I think like once you understand it from the point of they're trying to keep like the gossip and the drama to as little as possible in their own workplace because they do work at the same company.
Yeah.
That makes a little bit more sense. So like I can understand people do like to like when people like to meddle in others' relationships. That's just a thing.
Yeah.
I feel like it's not. It doesn't have the same character development as what was the one last season about the fake married couple?
Oh my god.
Why can't I remember this?
I'll find it. Well, in the process of me finding it, I do understand where you're coming from, especially since it's Japan culture and they don't, like they got to be like all civil and, like proper, and that's just the right thing to do at work is to not like involve your work relationship with your personal relationship. You got it?
I would effectively like compare this series to I would say the reception of this series. That's the word I'm looking for. It comes really down to taste. And to use a bit of an analogy, me and my brother go back and forth on which one is better, Subway or Jimmy John's. And it's like, do you appreciate subtle things more, or do you appreciate like the explosion of like enjoyment? Do you appreciate like the really really high peaks and stuff? This one is one of those that's going to be a lot more subtle in its character work, in its writing. Thus, it'll probably be a little bit more relaxing. It won't make it to like the highest highs, like something like let's say The Dangers of My Heart, Horimiya, Love Is War will, but it's still a solid series. It's enjoyable. If you really like romance, it's worth a watch.
Yeah.
But like, it can feel a little generic at times. I get that.
The anime you were thinking of was 365 Days to the Wedding.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
You see, I actually really like that one. Aside from like the random detours it would take. Like in the middle, they go on now we're doing the divorced coworker arc, and now we're doing the dating a single mother arc.
Yeah. All right.
The points they were trying to make with those arcs, but I just feel like they derailed the series and what was going for it.
Yeah, no, I understand. And now the moment everyone's been waiting for. Medica Kuriwa is impervious to my charms. I don't know if you want me to start this or if you want to go.
You can go ahead. You can go ahead, honestly.
Okay. I get it that I am probably wrong to every single one of everyone that I am communicating to right now. I understand that. We've had discussions. If you know who you are, we know, right? I understand that this may be a cash grab, rent a girlfriend that just progresses like and does nothing about it. I get it. Okay, I've heard it. The guy I'm speaking to right now has literally read like 12 volumes of the manga, so I cannot blame him at all for anything I'm about to say. So I like this show.
It didn't take long for the comment section.
Fuck Medica, we know. Yes. I get it. Okay, let me explain. I like the comedy. I like the dumb shit that this show does. And who knows, my opinion may change if this gets a second season and it gets a third, or if I start reading the manga and nothing progresses, and maybe I am just delusional right now, right? Until it really hits me. Like the people that have read Rent a Girlfriend and hyped it up until now they think it is terrible, right? Who knows? I may be delusional right now, right? But I love that Mona just is this girl, right? That just has to be loved by everyone, right? And Medica is just this monk guy that just does not, for whatever reason, wants to say that he is doing what he is doing because he does not want to get close to girls, or he does not want to, he wants to refrain from that and just doesn't care. But in my perspective and when I'm watching it, I think it's funny that Mona is just dumb, and it's very comical to me. And when Medica just goes like, ugh, and just kind of walks away and stuff like that. I just laugh my ass off. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, unfortunately, my talk about this this series has been removed from YouTube twice now because of copyright, so I haven't re-uploaded it. Because for some reason, apparently YouTube copyright doesn't like it when I don't care for this series. This one, look, I like the core concept of it. Like you said, with Madaka just not being like trying to resist, and Mona doing everything in her power to get him to fall under her spell.
Yeah.
That in and of itself is funny. And now a lot of people raise complaints of like, well, why does he as a monk have these precepts that prevent him from being with women? Like, he had to come from somewhere. He's from a family of priests. You can find any number of workarounds for that. Like, he could be adopted. It could be a mistranslation. I think that becomes a non-issue. My big issue with it is, I haven't noticed any in 12 volumes of this series, I did not notice a significant change in the characters. There was never really a moment where one of them has a check with themselves and goes through some major change. They're still largely the same person, even at this point. If you enjoy it, good for you. I'm glad you found something that you actually enjoy. It's kind of the same thing I said about Spy Family when everyone was ranting and raving about Spy Family, and I said, Anya is just Grogu for weebs. She is the merch character, and nothing in this series is actually that great. You all are just infatuated with Yor and blinded by Moe with Anya.
Yes.
My opinion of Spy Family aside, I kind of feel like this is one of those things where it's going to be much more niche. I don't think the animation, the way it's presented, really helped this series because it feels pretty lifeless as compared to other series. And now, to be fair, Rent-A-Girlfriend's animation also feels pretty lifeless at times.
Yeah.
But Rent-A-Girlfriend actually inspires a sense of utter hatred in me, and this one mostly just inspires indifference.
That's fair. I can shake your hand to that.
So I will give it the at least I don't hate it comment. It's just one of those things where I don't quite get where the appeal for it comes from. It's a solid core concept too, which is kind of the disappointing part to me. I like the idea of it. It's just as it plays out, I'm less and less inclined to think it's actually going to do something that I really enjoy. And fuck anyone who's talking about NTR, okay? I got duped into reading some fucking NTR last week, and I'm still upset about it.
Yeah, so we got Mixes over here saying, we know. Mango's saying, fuck America. Yeah, we know. We get it, yeah. Not like I've heard that. This is the first time I'm hearing it. Wow. It's fun. I see this more as a comedy. I feel like I guess I should say to people, I don't really see any romance ever happening, and I know that. I've already know. I watched YouTube videos. I watched your video about it. I've seen people online talk about that nothing happens, and there's no romance. But I didn't really come in here for the romance, to be honest. I'm literally here just to laugh at how dumb everyone is, and I love it. But yeah,
it's like me finding out that you can headbutt the signs in Skyrim and then spending 45 minutes bashing my head against the traitor sign just to watch it do.
I think if I'm talking about any of the episodes or moments that I really enjoyed, if you if since you've read the manga, so you'll know what I'm talking about. But I think it was funny in the newest episode. That Medica's like, oh, okay, fine. I won't be mean to her. I won't glare at her, right? I'm gonna because his friends basically are like, don't do that stuff. You can still be your friend, but you don't have to like her, right? So then, he just lets her kind of, like he puts his guard down, right? And everything. And then they're under the umbrella together. And then she's just trying to literally like, try to get as close to him as possible, right? And cling to him. And he is literally just trying to just run away from her when it's raining. And I just laughed at that. Or when, in the first episode, when Mona was, walking down the school hall saying good morning to everyone, and it's like just like she was like singing in the background, about how she's awesome and everything, and I'm just like, dude, that's so funny, but it's so dumb. Okay.
This one was one where like I think you going into it looking for comedy kind of makes sense why you would enjoy it. Me, when I went into this, it was more so like I felt it presented itself as like a proper story. And when it kind of ended up lacking that was one of the things where I ended up being kind of disappointed in it. Yeah. Because, well, it felt like it was kind of the same thing over and over and over again. I'm like, okay, we've been here. All right, you're gonna have a battle with some water balloons. Okay. Lost your phone. You're gonna use that as an excuse to go shopping on a date with him. Another girl likes him. Okay.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, the biggest plot twist will be I finished the series and I'm like, it's like a 6, guys. I mean, who knows? I mean, but yeah, all I'll say is that I understand if people don't like it. Yeah, that's all I'll say. I haven't watched Toilet Bound Hanako-kun, so have you?
I watched the first season. I thought it was alright, and I was not inclined to watch the second season.
Understandable. Alright, moving on. Salarymen to Big 4.
This one's in my watch later category because while I do enjoy Tsundere Dragon Waifu, it was one of the ones where I felt like, I don't know, it just wasn't solid enough for me to continue watching it this season.
Understandable. I agree with you. I think the Dragon Girl is best girl. I think it's okay. I think this series went from it was the opposite. I really enjoyed the first couple episodes. But I think it's just okay now. Like I'm 6 episodes in and I could see myself dropping it. I think I get the gist of the series. I don't want to mean that for you to ruin your experience, but I think after a while of doing salarymen things in another world and just kind of making contracts with other races, it kind of just got old for me for a bit. So I feel like I'm now just watching more for the girl and the guy's reaction, but I think it's okay.
I think okay is probably the right way to describe it. It's okay. It's like it's there. I would never say it's peak.
Yeah,
it's there.
Yeah. I think this is one of your favorite shows, the MD Doctor Detective.
Yeah, Amaku MD, Doctor Detective.
Yeah.
It's because I really do like fiction. If you don't enjoy the Apothecary Diaries, you probably won't like this one.
Yeah.
Because it is really focused on the mystery aspect. I just like Dr. Takao, sorry. And her personality, a lot of the mysteries that they handle. Episode 3 was probably its weakest point because it was a 1-episode mystery. But I do like that they're doing like urban legends and stuff, or in like myths and curses in a lot of this. So like the second mystery is like a hypnotizing video, and they go into some like actual like scientific explanation. The third arc here that they're doing now is actually a 3-parter about, I believe, an actual like historical figure who is known for cursing people and like sort of tackling like some of like the mystery of his curse and all that, and all these people who are related to an investigation dying off supposedly because of his curse.
Interesting.
There's that. The funniest thing about this is, if you remember a while back, how Uzaki Wants to Hang Out caused a bit of a internet drama because they used Uzaki for some blood drive posters.
Oh my god, I did not know that. No.
Yeah, so they used the main character for this, the girl on the front there, Amakutako.
Yeah.
They used her just recently, like this past couple of weeks, for promotional material for the Japanese Red Cross doing a blood drive.
Huh.
And some people decided to complain about her appearance on it, and well, it turns out the person writing this is an actual doctor and went all the way out of their way to correct the person who was saying that she was acting medically unprofessional in the poster.
That's crazy. I did not know the author was a doctor. That's crazy.
Well, I mean, yeah, it does help to explain why they know all this terminology and stuff, but
of course,
it's one of those things where I thought it was just a random tidbit that I picked up from covering some of these anime and stuff.
Yeah.
But this series I have enjoyed. If you're familiar with the series House, the actual series,
yeah,
it's pretty similar. When you're going to have a doctor who is getting all these medical related cases, solving mysteries, and somewhat fighting crime. I mean, the first episode also involves T-Rex bites. So
interesting.
That's cool.
I think I remember. I think I watched an episode. And I was like, it just ain't for me, like you said about Apothecary.
Mm-hmm.
Mixa says, how's a doctor got time to go solve police business? But I'm mostly enjoying it. Yeah, I have nothing to say. So if you're good, then I'm good to go ahead and move on.
I've said my piece.
Okay. Possibly the strongest alchemist, I think. The greatest, yeah.
Possibly the greatest alchemist.
Yes.
All I'll say is I got to the toilets and was like, yeah, I'm not gonna enjoy this series. Put it in the watch later category.
Understandable. As you see here, I have it as a 7 right now. I don't usually rank a lot of stuff, but I think it's good. I don't see my opinion really changing. Good, in my opinion, is it's just a good show. I think anything above 7s are stuff that I would rewatch. I would gush about a lot, or think that they're close to masterpieces. So I think this is a good show. I'm very interested in the whole demon, not the demon thing, but the other country is trying to do something. And obviously we know that the main character got transported a year in advance before something's gonna break out. I'm not sure if it's a war. So something's happening. So I think we'll find out in the next episode what that's about. I like the orange hair girl. She's probably my favorite. But there's really not much for me to say about it. I just think it's a good show, a good chill show.
I can see that.
Yeah. I think this is even the greatest appraiser, or the weakest. Given the worthless appraiser class, I'm actually the strongest.
Is that the next one we're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I might drop it after this next episode. That's how I kind of feel it's been going.
Really? Tell me more.
It has to do with the fact that it feels terribly generic in a lot of ways. I also feel like the main character has effectively just become Reinhardt Van Estrella. I'm just okay, next just tell me that the fucking sword god gave you a bunch of abilities next, okay? The harem expands at lightning speed, and I'm just not terribly impressed with it. I did like that they did the whole training arc. But outside of that, I haven't really cared much for the story since. Especially because it took him 5 minutes outside of the dungeon to double the size of his hair.
Yeah. I get it.
And that's not a knock against harems. I mean, some of my favorite romance anime from the season are legitimately harems. But, like, in this one, I'm not a fan of the writing or the characters. And those are the two big things that draw me to a series. If those aren't at least serviceable, to me, I'm not going to check in for the rest of it.
And I have to agree with you there. Characters in the story are basically the same for me. Animation and art and anything else beyond that is an extra to me, or a bonus, basically. I didn't like the first episode of this series at first, but I'm actually on board. So I'm kind of the opposite of you. I understand completely that like I really don't like that he just got this eye from the tree, right? Then he got the eye from the other from the mother of the blonde hair girl, right? And then now he can like communicate with people, because of these abilities. And now he's strong, right? Now he's training, and he's just really, strong, right? And then the newest episode, we went through like a little maze to get to the next girl, and I guess her bodyguard or something like that, I guess we'll call it. Apparently there's 6 sisters he's got to go save, and we're not yes, we see 6 girls right here, but clearly we're probably getting to like 3 or 4, because obviously the other girls are like the bodyguard or mother to the other tree. So this is, as I said in the stream yesterday, this guy just wants to, form a harem with multiple trees. Hopefully he doesn't get any splinters. And
sexual.
Yeah, hopefully he doesn't get any splinters. I think it's good. Would I say it's like a must watch? Probably not. Am I enjoying it? Yeah. I do have a problem, like I said, about the whole he's just he's just overpowered now. And it was just very quick. Especially when he was nothing, right? I get that's the title of the show, but that's probably the only thing that really bothers me. I like that they actually went back to the guy that betrayed him, and we got to see kind of the outcome of when he turned up to be alive. And he just kind of was like, listen, man, you left me there, you took me in though when I was a nobody, thanks, but I'm leaving you, peace, and everything, which was cool, I guess. But I don't really know what the guy now wants to do, to him. It's like, now it's like, oh, he's taking all this attention away from me, and now everyone hates me. So I'm gonna keep it for a couple more episodes, but I don't know. Yeah, that's my stance on it.
Could be worse.
Could be worse. Yeah, exactly.
I don't think I don't think could be worse justifies me continuing this anime. So if it doesn't turn it around in this next episode, give me something really, really good to invest in the story, I'm probably gonna cull it, because if I pull my actual anime list up right now, I'm still watching 25 anime this season.
Nice. I think I got 32. But there's probably going to be some drops very soon. I'm not talking 2 or 3. Probably a little bit more.
No, I've already dropped close to actually 10. I have stopped watching altogether. There are a couple I do need to pick up. I had intended to actually check out Medalist before the stream, but I still haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah, we'll get to that, but yeah. Alright, your favorite anime, Fruit Master. I'm messing.
To answer the question of how many shows I drop, usually it really depends on the season. This season I am watching way more than I ever have in any season.
Me too, yeah.
Mostly because it's become one of the main segments I do for my live streams. Is just talking about the week and what's had good episodes, what's had bad, where I generally rank things. So I've only been doing it for about 3 seasons now. Since summer of last year I've been doing this consistently. So it really depends. Sometimes I drop 3 or 4. This season I have dropped 10.
Yeah.
But it's just the consequence of and I haven't permanently dropped all of them. There are 5 that I have permanently dropped. The other 5 are ones that I will probably come back to watch at some point in the future.
Yeah, nice.
But yeah, Fruit Master is one of the ones that I have dropped. Like, permanently. Like, I have no intention of coming back to this guy.
If I did not watch this week's episode, I probably would have given you a different opinion than what I'm about to say, but I am starting not to like this show. I enjoyed it in the beginning. I thought it was cute, thought it was funny, thought it was just kind of a chill show to just relax to. I am not enjoying it after the new episode that came out. I just don't really know what the point of this story is. It's pulling the Greatest Alchemist, where like they are building to something and there's like a villain in this show, but they are not telling me what this villain is doing and what like they are like what's the deal with like Light, you know, what is the deal with him? Like, why do they want him? Why do they like, you know, like what's wrong with him? Like, what, like why are they against him? You know, why are they sending them on missions that, you know, clearly they're trying to like either kill them or capture them? I have no idea. And now that we're 6 episodes in, halfway, I don't know what I'm watching. Like, I don't know.
Here's my perspective and why I dropped it after 2 episodes. This series is terribly lacking in originality.
Yes, yeah.
Because the first thing I realized when I watched it, hey, this is the plot of Kaiju number 8. Like, 2 childhood friends, a guy and a girl, who both want to be adventurers.
Oh my god, you're right. Oh my god.
It's a ridiculous ability. The other one gets left behind and then all of a sudden discovers, hey, I'm actually really fucking awesome.
Oh my god, you're right. Oh my god. You just ruined it.
May I interest you in the concept of devil fruits?
Oh my god. No, yeah, I know a little bit about it, but I've heard if what you're about to say is if you eat more than one devil fruit you die, then yeah, I know.
Yes. Yeah, they're effectively the same thing. The skill fruits give you a power, you can only eat one or else you die. That is a devil fruit. Stack that on top of the fact that it is a very, very generic, like, anime fantasy world. It's like I'm sitting here like, I can find better, like, any reason to watch this, I can find a better show to watch when it comes to that.
Yeah, I'm still mind blown after the whole Kaiju number 8 comparison. So, as you see my screen, I'm hovering over the drop button right now. So, I don't know.
Here's another one. Wistoria, Wand and Sword. Same concept. Both of them better series.
She's evil. Why is she evil? No idea yet. Exactly. I don't know what the point of this show is. Like, exactly.
This is genuinely one of those anime where it's not like it inspires like vitriol in me, but it's like I can't for the life of me understand why this exists.
Yeah, no, I get it. The problem is, the reason why I have 31 shows is because the people in the chat that shall not be named, they know who they are these people like, dude, you dropped too quickly. You watched like 20 series a season, and I'm like, dude, I don't have time for your garbage. Like, I don't have time.
That's why I've called the ones that I did, is because like, I want to enjoy my anime watch time. Most of it happens on Saturday because it's the only day I have before my live streams where I can binge everything and still be caught up on that week.
Yeah.
And I want to enjoy a lot of the stuff that I'm watching.
Yes.
Like I gotta fix people's houses, then I gotta come home and record and work on videos, and then I have live streams. There's only so much time I have to watch anime. If I'm watching. I was probably watching close to 40 shows, like 36 at the peak of this.
Wow.
That I had on here.
Wow.
It's one of those things where like I'm going to end up dropping more here. Ube Blet and possibly The Greatest Alchemist are ones that I'm heavily considering dropping, especially now that I know Uwe Blett has a much, much, much better manga.
Yeah. But that's what I mean. Like I was saying before, is like people go like, oh, you're only watching like 20 series. Like when I go back to like summer or even spring, I think I was watching like 20, maybe 22 shows. I got 31 now because people are like, you dropped too quick. I'm like, okay, fine. I will watch more and I will see. And the problem is because I've watched more, I'm like, well, you see, like, I'm 6 episodes in Fruit Master. I literally am halfway done. So is it like, do I complete it or do I drop it halfway? I feel like I wasted my time though if I drop it, right? It's like, I watch 4 episodes, hold on, what's a good comparison? I've watched 6 episodes of Salaryman. It's an okay show. Is it something that I would probably rewatch? Probably not, And that's how I feel about Zenshu, kind of. It's how I kind of feel about, some other series I'm going to name out. I'm like, I have a good top 10 that I'm like, I can't wait to the next episode, but I feel like, why am I doing this, All right, moving on. S rank monster, or Bihi Neko for short. This is all you, man. I'll give my opinion later.
Okay. To shortly paraphrase in what I said on my rant on this series, you can find that full video on my channel. I don't care about adult content in series, as evidenced by the fact that some of my favorite mangas are stuff like Berserk. I do like stuff like Uwe Blett, both of which have, full titties and shit. Sorry for punching my mic. One of my favorite romances is Sweat and Soap. And, I mean, the main girl gets plowed by the main character in, like, the first volume. And it's a pretty depictive scene. I don't mind sexy stuff in my anime. However, what I like more is a story accented, garnished a little bit with fan service or adult content, rather than the adult content being the point of the series.
Give me a second.
Hey, Neko, they literally write the dumbest plot points to enable fan service, i.e. a blacksmith doesn't know how to make a smaller weapon, so they go into a dungeon and fight phallic-looking tentacle monsters called ropers that shoot white goo everywhere and can crossbreed with any creature just so that they can figure that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is where I say, okay, this is objectively a bad series.
Yeah, just give me a second real quick. Mixes. I know if it's trashy or not the best anime series, you wouldn't find me on it. I understand it. I'm not blaming you. I'm not blaming anyone for that matter. I feel like I like blame myself somewhat. Like, it's like, why am I doing this to myself? Like, I have not really much to say about this show. I was literally going to drop this by like episode 2, and as you see, I have 6 episodes completed. I don't know why I'm watching this.
I dropped it at episode 2. The moment the blacksmith couldn't figure out how to make a knife, I was like, okay, I know where this is going. I mean, it's literally one of those series where people will say they watch it for the plot, but I know the plot is literally just fucking elf titties and tentacle heads.
So did you drop this already?
Oh, yes. I dropped it way at the beginning of the series.
Oh my god, I have no idea why I thought you liked it. I have no idea why I thought that.
I'll tell you why. Because my chat, particularly Beagles and Marcel in my chat, tease me about it, saying that it's my favorite thing of all time.
That's awesome.
This series, like, this is like genuinely one that inspires like vitriol in me, because like I just can't for the life of me. Ecchi, no problem, okay? Bad ecchi, the kid gloves come off, okay? I'm gonna call the series bad. I don't care about your taste. If you enjoy this, you have shit taste.
So
all you want want to do is watch defective porn. That's all you want out of this.
So the question is it better than Medica?
I would rather watch Medaka, Kuroyoi, and Courteous to My Charms than this.
Okay, so now that we've communicated and talked about this show, this is probably going on my dropped because for whatever reason, I was keeping this because I thought you were watching it. I know a couple other people that are watching it, and I wanted to know why people were watching this. I skipped the bath scenes. I literally told Keo and the chat right here. It's every episode there's a bath scene. I do not need to see that, man. All right, if you want to watch it, be my guest. You know, you'll probably be silently judged by me, but I will not say anything. Yeah, no, I'm probably dropping this now. As you see, 6 episodes. I don't need more.
You have tortured yourself long enough.
Yeah, this is probably it. After this shit's going on drop. Welcome to Japan, Miss Elf is another anime. I might drop. I think it's okay. I think it may be a little too boring for me. But I can understand why people like it. I know it's like a reverse isekai. But I find the in real life Japan episodes more entertaining than in the fantasy world.
Yeah, I agree with that. Except for I have a soft spot for silver-haired elves, be it Emilia, Frieren, I believe it's Silk from A-Rank Adventurer.
Yes.
Well, I have a thing for elves, particularly with silver hair. Okay.
That's fine. You know, I'm really happy that we're agreeing a lot. I don't know why I thought we were just gonna argue and disagree. I'm joking. I don't. I thought like we probably wouldn't have a lot of the same taste, but that's crazy, man.
Yeah. Imagine being able to disagree with someone amicably and just discuss something and have a different point of view.
I know.
This one, I enjoy. I like the slice of life part of it. That's what keeps me entertained. I have a feeling that they're going to bring more and more of like the fantasy characters to modern day Japan as the series goes on. That's kind of what I'm looking forward to. But it's one of those things like I described earlier. You either appreciate the subtleties in a series, or you really just crave the dopamine shot. Those are the two forms of entertainment I see a lot of people consume. This is one of those ones that it's like the Jimmy John's versus Subway thing. Do you like the explosive flavor and the dopamine shot of Subway, or do you like the subtleties of a good Jimmy John's sub? This one is the Jimmy John stuff, where I actually I like this kind of thing after like a long day of yelling at a coworker to cut a 2x4 a specific number and then getting it wrong.
I wish this had romance, and yes, it kind of does, but I wish there was a genre of romance because they clearly like each other. They're clearly going to end up together, but yeah, I wish there was more of that. I'm more of a romance sucker, as I'm sure you found out as talking, but I wish there was some romance in this that would help out a lot.
I think so too. I think it would be better with some like actual like direct romance instead of the usual like will they won't they shtick that this is presenting. But I think it's good enough for me to enjoy it just off of the slice of life stuff.
Yeah. Welcome, Stitch Lover. Thanks for joining the chat. All right. The dad's been reincarnated.
I actually love this series. It's fantastic. Like, I have no complaints about this series whatsoever. It is like it is number 3 on my like favorites list this season.
Nice. I think this show is okay. This is gonna be one of our disagrees. Episode 4. I literally was going to drop this in the middle of episode 4 until they exposed everything, like what's going on with the dad, and then the family came up, and I'm like, you got my attention. Congratulations. I will continue for now.
You see, the thing, like, this is another one where I really, really love the intro. The animation is actually surprisingly good for the kind of story that it is. Like, you get these, like, 15-second little flashes of, like, fight scenes or whatever, and they're really fucking well animated. There's the good, like, wholesome family aspect going on in, like, the old world. Or in the real world, I should say.
Yeah.
So there's that part that I really do like. And the fact that every time he tries to play the role of a villainess, he just ends up coming off as, like, this really, like, endearing, caring person.
Yeah.
It's a lot of things for this coming together. I can honestly understand why people won't like it as much as me. Because I was actually in that position a while back with these Otome Gang reincarnation, or Otome Gang isekais. I have never been a huge fan of them. I tried All Routes Lead to Doom, didn't really care for it. It was last season I tried out I'll Be a Villainess Who Goes Down in History, and I actually really liked that one. And then I ended up, the premise of this was just too ridiculous for me to not at least give it a try. And
yeah.
I was like, all right, you know what? This is just fantastic this season. Like, I love it.
Yeah, what I see a trend on is everything I hype up before it airs, I overhype it too much to the point I really don't like it. That was one of them. I was expecting a lot, I guess, to like it a lot. It was the same with Elf. I was hyping that one up. I was hyping Salaryman up. I was hyping Crush at Work up. And like I said, this is from someone that doesn't really read a lot of manga, but it looked like it had like good premises and everything. And it's just crazy that like almost everything I'm like, oh, I feel like this is gonna be good, but then I just like I expect more from it, or I think it's gonna go in a different way than how the story presents itself, basically. And that's a me thing, but yeah.
It's like I said about Sakamoto Days earlier. I think that's kind of a similar effect, where you get into your head what you think the series is going to be, and then it disappoints you, and you're not able to fully appreciate it. This is one I literally just went into with, like, zero expectations, other than some, like, alright, this is going to be some, just, like, a dumb series that I get a few laughs out of them, and I ended up really liking it.
Yeah.
Most of the time when you do that, like, you are kind of self-sabotaging with it.
I am.
So when it comes to most of these, I really do try to have as few expectations for them as possible when I pick them up. In fact, a lot of these I haven't even really like read manga for. Is on my list as far as I can talk. As far as I know, the only ones that I've actually touched manga for that are out right now are 100 Girlfriends. Well, ReZero not even manga. I read light novels, Solar Leveling, and now I've actually touched Ubel Bled. So.
Yeah.
And Sakamoto Days, but I was never a huge fan of it, and I gave the anime a shot and liked it slightly better.
Yeah. I think it's an okay show. I'm happy you're enjoying it. My girlfriend loves this show a lot. It's something that I think is in her probably top 3, I would say, of this season. But I hope the family dynamic of his mom and daughter can be explored more, because I don't want to see, the villainess or someone, they're going to an academy, they're taming a magic beast, they're they're gonna do their like a little tournament, right, and everything, and it's like the same villainous like episodes. There's like a school festival, right? There's this type of episode, right? And that's why I was gonna drop, because I was like, oh my god, like nothing's happening, but I want to watch it. But I hope the family can get involved more. From episode 4, it looks like it, so I may turn around my opinion on this. So we will see.
Yeah, there's that. One of the things I often like try to keep in mind, or like try to convey to people, isn't necessarily how many tropes a series uses, because no matter what, you're going to find something similar in everything. It's how well it executes on those tropes. And this one I felt like delivered on the tropes pretty well. Whereas something like Fruit Master used a lot of tropes for a lot of ideas from other series and didn't execute on them very well at all.
Yeah. I gotcha, yeah. I don't watch Blue Exorcist, sorry.
I don't either, so
Okay, cool.
I have nothing to say.
Ubel Blatt finally, right?
Yeah.
I watched one episode. It was hyped. It was getting pushed. I feel like it was getting really like hyped from what I was seeing online. I dropped it after an episode. I heard the
I genuinely don't blame you. The hype comes because the manga is great, and let me tell you, they skipped the entire introduction to the series that would have explained so much about what's going on.
That's what I heard, and I don't want to watch something where I didn't understand anything. Like I had no idea what was going on at all, and kudos to people that are enjoying it and think it's a good adaptation, but I don't like it. Like I was so confused.
No, I'm going to be making a video on this this week. It probably won't come out until later because I got a couple of seminars these next couple of days I got to go to for work.
Yeah.
But this is literally a bastardization of source material on par with Berserk 2016. It is that bad.
That is crazy. It feels like they don't know how to adapt like these mature stories anymore.
Like, if you're going to get into this series, I would recommend manga. But if you're squeamish about things, there is a girl getting attacked by a horse within like the first chapter of this.
Yeah.
So read at your own risk. But I think it's much better looking and much better developed as a story if you do if you read the manga as opposed to the anime. The anime makes no freaking sense. I mean, you get to a point where this chick shows up on like a griffin, and she's wearing what looks like a leotard and holding like a sword spear, which is basically just a sword blade on a very, very long handle.
I might have watched episode 2. Yeah, I feel like I remember that.
But she shows up, and they don't that is all actually explained within like the first 10 chapters of the manga. You actually get to see why she's out for revenge against Koinzo.
Yeah.
And all of the world building, all of the terminology they throw out, it makes so much more sense when you read the manga. So yes, a bastardization on par, if not worse than Berserk 2016. It is utterly abysmal, and I absolutely respect the fact that you would drop that after the first or second episode.
I'll probably...
all complete with failure frame level bad animation.
I will probably pick up the manga since Mangos is a manga fan in the chat here, and he loves it. I'll probably try the manga at the very least. But do you see that this studio is working on 4 animes this season, counting Ubel Blatt, and I'm like, I really wonder if that's a reason why. Like, they don't care about a lot of these series, and they're just publishing it to publish it, you know?
Well, someone in the actual reviews for Ubel Blatt had a really good point, where big studios don't want the risk of, adapting these darker stories that are pretty messed up.
Interesting.
And they just don't go to good studios. They end up going to smaller studios who then absolutely lack the talent and resources to fully adapt them.
Oh my god, that's crazy. Wow.
So it's like the curse of seinen, I guess.
Probably.
Yeah, as far as the quantity of anime, that can be done. Studio Bones actually has 6 or 7 development departments that each work on their own anime.
Yeah.
And they all you'll have My Hero Academia worked on by one, and then all of their smaller anime they do worked on all the other branches. That's how they keep their workflow intact. So I wouldn't be surprised if this studio had multiple teams working on things as well.
Yeah.
but I can't know without actually knowing the structure of the company.
Understandable.
I am not an expert in that area, so.
Yeah, so Mango said, sad part is that the Red Ranger Isekai is their only good anime they're making this season.
You'd probably disagree because they are doing Ghoul School too, right?
I mean, I like Ghoul School. I think Core 2 is a little bit weaker than Core 1, but yes, I would disagree with that comment. I think Ghoul School is a good show, but it's not the best. Like if people hate it, I understand. I don't have any fighting words. I get it.
Yeah, as far as Red Ranger goes, it's all right.
I agree.
It's entertaining. It's good for a laugh, but I wouldn't say it's a masterpiece.
Yes, I have the same opinion. I dropped the Okinawa Girl. I don't really have much to say about it besides it's not even the love polygon that pisses me off. It is literally that the dude has a crush on the brown hair girl, and the blonde girl likes him, and I'm like, this is, and then the blonde girl is supposed to, like, translate for the guy, right? I just think it's kind of dumb. I don't like the whole translations when they're like 3 or 4 different texts that are on screen that I'm trying to read, like the dialogue, and then the girl's saying something else, and then like big text pops up, and I'm just like, I have no idea what's going on.
This is another thing that is more in my wheelhouse. I do like the language and culture jokes it does. I also agree that the romance part of it suffers the same problem, the same core problem as Blue Box, where the
Yes.
one that the main character has a crush on is not the better of the picks.
Yes.
But in this one, I can believe that in the end, like Hina, the blonde-haired chick, or sorry, Kana is her name, will actually win. I feel like they may actually end up doing that with the way they've been writing the story.
Yeah.
I can understand the argument that like trying to keep up with the text and stuff is annoying. It doesn't bother me too terribly much. Mostly because I think listening to Kian-san just babble, and the subs are just all like frenetic babble. So
Yeah.
they don't even make any sense. I
Yeah.
think that's funny. So I personally enjoy the series. I really do like it. And I am like absolutely rooting for Hina to actually win in the end. And I legitimately do think it's possible that she will. But
Yeah.
when it comes to the series, I can genuinely understand why some people might not like it.
Yeah, so just to catch up on comments here, Blue Exorcist is peak. The watch order for Ubel Blad is a little confusing. Not gonna lie, I might drop the Okinawa Girl. Yeah, just like Mixes says, do it. Okay, cool. Cool. I'm glad. I don't sound too crazy over here with a lot of my takes. Yeah, I'm happy you're enjoying it, but that's the same reason, like you gave with Blue Box. They make the better girl for whatever reason, or the better love interest, and they make the guy like the other one. It makes no sense to me. I don't really understand why they do that. Yeah. Yeah.
See, this is why Too Many Losing Heroines is actually peak, because
Yes.
all of the girls are losing heroines.
Yes, exactly. I agree. One of the best shows that aired that season.
Oh, it was honestly neck and neck with Oshinoko season 2 the whole way.
I
And
agree.
at the end, I was like, I gotta give it to Too Many Losing Heroines. It was just too good.
I can agree. To go to summer season for a second, I think Losing Heroines and No Longer Allowed in Another World were my 2 favorites.
Oh, both of those were fantastic.
Yeah.
No Longer Allowed in Another World was another one that I did not expect to be as good as it was.
Yeah, the same here. Yeah.
That was actually one of my top 10 of the year. by the end of 2024. Like that was just it was that good.
Yeah, and you're right, Mixes. You love who you love. It's not always a choice. It's true. I can think it's still dumb though.
Counterpoint: the writer gets to control who you love.
Yep.
So
Exactly. Even though Hina is the best, yeah, because he's a Hina fan too, like us. So yeah. Brink of Death, the Noble Ruin. I dropped it after episode 2 or 3. I forgot.
I dropped it after episode 4.
Wow.
Noble on the Brink of Ruin. Yeah, I had some. Like I said, I streamed with other people on Monday night, and they were enjoying it, so I at least like persevered. And I got to the point where it really, really devolved into very, very generic, like power fantasy sort of stuff. And I was like, this is one that I'm just not terribly interested in. Maybe I'll pick it up later if I hear good things about it. And from what I've heard from these guys who continued watching it, they just aren't a fan of it anymore either. So I may end up putting it in the not for me category.
Look at that score. Ooh, lower than Medica, so we're good. All right, A-rank party. I left my A-rank party to help my students reach the dungeon depths. Yep.
This one I actually gave a promotion from okay to interesting recently. I feel like it's been getting better and better with every episode. And this one is another, like, harem series, it looks like. So, it's alright. I will say, though, let's just point out that there is a Roxy, a Sylphie, and an Eris in that cover.
Yep. Yep. And I'm pretty sure the dub voice is of one or two of them. I forgot which ones. I think the dub of like Eris is the redhead, or the Roxy's the blue. I forgot which one. I was lost, but yeah.
Either way, it's a solid enough series to stand on its own. I don't feel like it's too terribly tropey.
Possible grooming issues. What?
hey, bud! I got an hour-long video to pitch you. Nah, this one, it's a solid enough series to stand on its own. Do I think it's the most amazing thing ever? Nah. But I wouldn't say it's something that is like, just don't watch it whatsoever. If you enjoy the sort of like self-betterment arc in a series where someone basically gets kicked out of their party and finds a new place to belong, you'll probably enjoy it.
Yeah. This is one of my favorite animes there in this season. I like the fantasy element. I like the world a lot. I like all the characters. I think the animation looks amazing. It's by the same studio as Wistoria. I never completed Wistoria, but I think the animation is very good in this in A-Rank Party. I think a lot of people know my opinion on it, so I'll keep it short. And just, I think the fantasy world is good. The characters are fun to watch, and I can't wait to watch more. I've been looking at the manga and reading a little bit of it every so often, so I like this show. Yeah.
Yeah, this one's honestly at least worth a little bit of a watch. So,
okay.
Give it a couple of episodes, see if you enjoy it. And then your opinion from there is pretty much
your
own.
Exactly. I dropped Unnamed Memory Season 1, so...
I haven't watched it whatsoever, so I have no opinion on it.
I would not recommend it.
I have no opinion.
Okay,
Jet Black from Cowboy Bebop.
So you know Ubel Blad in a Butcher adaptation? This. Unnamed Memory.
Is that so?
From what I've heard, yes. That's why a lot of people drop Season 1. And I'm like, I'm not going to watch something. One, if it doesn't interest me, but two, if they're going to butcher the adaptation, I don't really have an interest in that. I'll go read the source material, you know?
Mm-hmm. I see you had the same opinion as me about the Jeff Bezos anime.
Yep, Jeff Bezos, yeah. I think I watched 3, maybe 2 episodes of it. I watched 2 episodes. I could not get through 3. Another one I hyped up. I just don't like it. And then some of my Discord people said, "Wow, that new episode." So I said, "Let me skim through it." So I was just clickety click, and I'm like, "Oh, a girl and monsters and some dark elements and some themes that and the girl was in a weird situation." So I'm like, "I'm good." I'm good.
Yeah, this is one where, like, I watched until the most recent episode. I think it was 5. I'd have to check my list here.
So did you see the scene I'm talking about then?
Are you talking about the kidnapping?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I got there, and, like, that whole battle scene was really what sold me on the fact that I just didn't like it.
Understandable. Yeah, I couldn't.
Like, okay, this is what you're going to give me. Yeah, I'm tuning out, and I am saving myself the brain cells.
Yep, exactly. I like neat kunoichi otaku. But again, like Medica, people are against me. Are you one of those people?
Yeah, this is one that went into the not for me category after episode 2.
And that's fine. Again, since everyone kind of knows my opinion on this, I like romance series. I like things that are very different. I am not a guy that's going to go with the popular crowd ever. I'm not that type of guy. I will tell people how I feel. That is just who I am as a person. I like this show. I think a 6 is a little too low if you have to ask me, but I like the romance to it. I'm a very big romance guy. I like the whole ninja concept. I think the comedy is really fun. I don't know. I just think it's dumb fun. I think you're starting to get a pattern of my interests.
No, it is dumb fun, but it was just one of those series that I didn't vibe with. That's really all I can describe it as. It's like I'm perfectly fine with dumb fun.
Yeah.
Like half the reason why I picked up the 100 Girlfriends.
Yes.
This one, like I said, all I can say is I didn't vibe with it. That's really the only reason I dropped it.
And that's fine. That's fine.
One of those things where, like, I saw a dude's bulge through some very tight spandex, and I was like, okay, maybe not. I'm kidding. That's not why I dropped it.
I'm joking. Yeah. I'm happy that Kyo Dantes also likes the anime. Probably not as much as me, but I'm having some good conversations with him. Female neats are funny, male one's a disappointment. That's kind of funny. That's kind of funny. Yeah, I'm happy to have a couple people that I've been able to talk to about the series. Obviously, not the best. I understand, but I like it. I like it.
I know how it feels because I am a huge fan of the series Song of Spider So What, and almost nobody knows what that series is because the adaptation was awful.
Yeah.
The novels were fantastic.
Same opinion. I started reading the light novels of Spider. I'm not too far into it, but I have. It's good, yeah.
I won't spoil anything for you, but shit gets wild.
I wouldn't be surprised, yeah. I think you saw maybe on Twitter, Medalist is probably my hidden gem anime of the season. If not, it should be everyone's.
I genuinely intend to catch up on this one, and I'm particularly incentivized because there is a dub for it out.
Yes.
And I'll probably watch that. But that's one of the ones I do want to sneak in here, considering I'm dropping a couple of these. I will have the time to fully catch up on it.
Nice. And this is right now is the best time to probably binge this because we just got over a cliffhanger episode 2 weeks ago with the new episode that came out, finishing that. So it's probably for the best for you that now you can just binge that and it like all in one go, and it's great. This is a very emotional, really good series. I don't I wouldn't say it's in a top 5 for me personally, but I can recognize it being very good. Like I will not argue with people saying if this is your favorite anime of the entire season or if it's like in your top 3. I get it. It's very visually impressive and it's fun.
I saw some of the shots on it for like the most recent episode, and like you can almost like have to do a double take as far as how well they did the CGI for it from the clips I've seen. I'm genuinely impressed with that. So it's one that I am like I've meant to check it out since the season started airing. It's just one that keeps getting pigeonholed for me.
Yeah, but like I said, this comes from the studio that is doing Unnamed Memory, right? A butchered adaptation, like I mentioned before. A lot of people didn't like Our Dating Story, even though I disagree with them. But this is coming from a studio that, you know, I remember Trapped in a Dating Sim. People were talking about the art style and the butchering of the adaptation. But this is from a studio, from what I've heard, does not really care much from their animes, and you know they are proving people.
They did Uzaki-chan. Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, but from what I've heard is they have a record of not doing good adaptations. So it's very surprising to see that this is doing really well. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they did Uzaki. I am not a dub only. I watch both. Just to answer that question right away, it really just depends on the series. They did Uzaki. They've done the Medalist, which seems pretty well received. It might just be a case where they've had a few bad adaptations, and it's the old saying of you can build 1,000 bridges and no one will ever remember you as a bridge maker, but you fuck one goat.
That's funny. Magic Maker. After episode 1, I dropped it. I don't like it.
It's something I watch later. I do like the concept of it, of like, hey, I'm going to be the person who creates all our magic and magic methodology in this world. That's an interesting, unique idea for an isekai. It's just that I'm really not digging the sibling relationship or how they've handled literally anything else.
Yeah, I have the same opinion. Red Ranger is something that I've been flip-flopping on. A lot of people on my Twitter love this show, and they like DM me talking about how like they love it, and they like just update me about it for whatever reason. But I'm not against it. I watched I think 2 episodes and I dropped it. It's a drop for me. But if you like it, I will not complain. I'm not a Super Sentai guy. I never watched Power Rangers as a kid. Don't really know much about Sentai, so it's just not for me.
I would say like this is like just it's a fun show, but an okay at best show.
Yes.
I like like I said in my video of it. I like the concept of the fact that like the world has to adapt to red rather than the other way around.
Yes.
That part it makes it all fun. And Idra is the best character in the show so far. She's like
yes.
really the only one who's truly interesting.
Yes.
But I do not think it's a masterpiece. It has its reasons to watch, but it almost makes itself pretty niche because it really only appeals to tokusatsu and Super Sentai fans.
Yes, and
that's where it's gonna appeal the most.
And please go check out Crimson's channel. He makes like literally straight to the point videos about a lot of the series and his opinions on. So if you want like a short, sweet, to the point, go watch it. You know, that's all I can say. It's good. And when I watched your video on this, I was like, yeah, I agree. I've never watched Grisaya or Phantom Trigger, so I don't really know anything.
I've never touched it either. I saw like girls with guns, and I'm like, 9 out of 10 odds. This isn't all that interesting, and nobody talks about it.
Yeah, Momentary Lily. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, so Flower and Asura, I dropped.
not touched it. Didn't seem like something I was terribly interested in. Not because Yuri, just because I'm not really interested in like the whole broadcast thing that they're doing.
Understandable. Yeah. Same opinion. It's by the Hibiki Euphonium author, so a lot of people are attached to this series because of that. I think. Um, yeah. I dropped Ishura. It's just not a me thing.
I never touched season 1, so I
Exactly.
have no opinion on it.
Yeah, I dropped season 1. Princess Lessons. My girlfriend loves this. Kyo Dantes loves this. I don't really care.
I'm actually gonna split the middle on this one. So
Wow.
I think it starts off really well, but the biggest issue it has is the fact that it doesn't frame Clark as a good love interest. He is too clingy, too possessive, and almost yandere like in the way he behaves.
Yes.
So if you want, so really all it ends up coming off to me as is this series where the main character has to basically suffer because the author says this is their fate.
And I don't really like that.
It's kind of depressing. The first episode was a really good, like, I want to say like reverse sucker punch, where they sell you on like the depressing, heartbreaking part of it at the very beginning, and then they switch around to like the most, like the second half is just hilarious and like really fun to watch. Letty being the best character in it is, it's just a given, and the brother being the only one to have a level head is another funny element of it. But
Yeah.
its big weakness that it just doesn't seem to be able to overcome is selling me on Clark. And I actually had a big argument with over this series on Monday night because I said the exact same thing. I feel like Clark needs to be better and more endearing in order for me to believe that there is, or in order to sell me on the idea of Letty giving up on her freedom.
Same opinion. I think I watched one full episode, and then I watched, I think, 2 and 3 kind of in the background with my girlfriend watching it. And I'm when she watches shows, I kind of just know the plot because we talk about our shows together, basically stuff we watch and don't. So I'm aware of what's going on, and I'm kind of just thankful. It's just not for me, but I have the same opinion as you and Keo here. I don't really like. You said the blonde dude's Clark, yeah.
Yes.
I like the brother. I think he was kind of fun, just to watch. I remember in episode 1 and 2, from what I remember. And, yeah, I feel bad for Letty. But look at this score. Look at this 5.52.
I don't think it's quite that bad. I would honestly say it's like a mid-6. So like a 6.5 or something.
Yeah.
Where it is now. Because honestly, like seeing the way the characters interact and everything just makes me feel sorry for Letty.
Yeah.
If they could do better selling Clark, I think it would probably be more deserving of like a high 7, low 8 score.
Understandable. I know the next one because I just went back to look at the princess one, but I'm not really a reverse harem guy, so I think I watched an episode of this and dropped it. I don't even know what this is called. I forgot.
Anyway, I'm falling in love with you.
Yeah. Not a fan.
I never touched it.
Okay, cool. Tazukari Hotel. Again, it's another series my girlfriend really loves. People compare it to Death Parade, from what I've heard. It just didn't really interest me. There's nothing really bad about it to say to anyone. It's based off of a mobile game that you can play in America if you didn't know, if you really want to get it, and it's adapting that game. But just not a me thing.
Yeah, I never touched this one either.
Cool. I think this is Prince of Wizard or something. I never
Promise
watched.
of Wizard.
Or Promise of Wizard. I didn't watch it.
Didn't watch it.
All right, Momentary Lily, man.
If there was something more substantive about Momentary Lily, I could comment on it. but it's all just flashing lights.
There you go.
You look at a
Flashing.
screen, you wonder why it looks that way, and then you walk away.
Okay,
You forget that it exists.
the opening is a banger, but that is it.
Well, here's my big complaint, is it literally looks like all the characters are superimposed in the world. There are so many conflicting art styles in this that it is really, really hard to sit there and watch.
And it's by Studio Gohans, which I actually praised them for doing the Glasses anime, but this did not help.
I praised them for the promotional material they did on this series, but at the same time said it all comes down to whether there's a substantive story to this.
My God.
And it's not just flash and splendor with nothing to it. And guess what? There's no good story. All the characters are just like bad gimmicks. Half the time I couldn't even keep up with what they were talking about because it was effectively gibberish.
It's got a 5.6, man. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it
Wow.
deserves that score.
It does, yeah. There you go. I don't, as you see, I haven't watched The Golf or Bang Dream. I don't really feel like you would either.
No, I don't think I've watched any of the next, like, 5.
Okay, gotcha. So Bomba Bon Vampire, right? Yeah, I haven't touched it. I know someone, okay, so, Kyo, dropped, Momentary Lily Cool. I didn't even touch this. I know Kyo did, I think, one episode, but dropped it. Yeah, I'm not, nothing against Boys Love. If you guys like that, cool, but not for me, and I don't even really want to touch it. I know you don't. What?
Yeah, I felt the same way when I was doing my preview of Winter Anime. I saw that, and I'm like, I don't even need to read this. I can just kind of tell where this is going to go by looking at the cover. And I'm just going to say, I'm not a woman. This isn't for me. So I'm going to move on.
Did you watch the episode at all or anything, or nothing?
Of Bon Bon Vampire?
Yeah.
I didn't touch it at all.
Okay, cool. All right, I'll make this real quick because I know you're not a Pharmagia guy. So to give you a little context, right? I'm not the biggest fairy tale guy, but I love Eden Zero, which I know sounds probably very contradictory. I played.
They're the same thing.
What?
What do you mean? They're the same thing.
I know, right? Do you watch Fairy Tail, or have you watched Eden Zero or anything?
I was not a fan of Fairy Tail. I liked it up until like around the time they introduced Gajeel, and then at that point I was like, okay, this series is getting really repetitive. Big bad guy gonna show up, gonna mess some people up, and then Natsu's gonna yell "Fire Dragons roar" and KO him.
Yeah. So, hold on, I'm just looking something up. I actually bought the game for Christmas because I was a little interested before the anime even aired. And I played a little bit of the game. I think the game's all right. I could see myself finishing it one day. I like Pharmagia, but it's not. It's probably like a 6. I can understand it being a 5, which is what it has. I'm a big Eden Zero guy. I understand that Hiro Mashima is not the best writer, but I get it. I give him some credit because Eden Zero is one of my favorite animes of all time. I think Pharmagia is okay. I get the hate. I get if people don't like it or if they drop it. I'm having a fun time with it. I also am a guy that completed the first season of 100-Year Quest of Fairy Tail, but I've also never watched Fairy Tail completely. Yeah. So I was just curious because it was a different story, and I did finish 100-Year Quest. I forgot what I ranked it. I think I probably gave it like a 7 if I'm here checking real quick. I think it was fine, Yeah, I gave it a 7. I thought it was fine, it was good. Yeah, that's Pharmagia. I know the next one you probably don't watch. Pretty Cure's a long-running magical girl series that's by the same studio of One Piece and Dragon Ball. The only reason why it's not as popular as those two, even though they tried pushing it, is because when they did translate it and to the West, it was very like poor received. But I also like my Magical Girl series sometimes, so yeah.
I respect the magical girl thing, but I usually only mess with it when it's like something pretty unique in and of itself. Like Machi Maho, I read that manga.
Yes, yes.
I actually really like that one. I need to continue, but I want to do it with physical books because I liked it that much. Or like I'll check out stuff like Magical Girl Apocalypse or Magic Girl Sight.
Yeah, yeah.
The ones that decide to be like super like dark and messed up with it. But I've never watched Sailor Moon. I've never watched Precure.
Are you aware?
Nothing against them, but I'm sure they have their merits. It's just one of those things. Like for me, like Mecha, BL, Magical Girl, generally not my thing.
Understandable. Have you heard of Pretty Cure at all? Like, are you been aware of it, or?
It's kind of hard not to at least hear about it a couple of times when you delve deeply into anime.
Okay.
Eventually, someone starts talking about Precure on your timeline.
Yeah. Yeah. To let people know, because I do know that I have a good Precure fan base, or at least a couple people if they're watching. This is a sequel series to the original. Pretty Cure usually doesn't get sequel series. They always, unlike Ash Ketchum, every 50 episodes they get you a new main protagonist. So these are the same protagonists from like season 14 or something, and we're getting like an adult life of them. So it's just a continuation. Yeah, you probably haven't watched Myth of Emotions or Unibirth.
No, I have not.
What the hell? By Cloverworks, okay. Again, here's the new Pretty Cure series that's airing 22nd. So if you like that, you'll like that. And yeah, that is basically it. Unless you're watching One Piece or ReZero.
I stopped watching One Piece around 700 episodes in when they got to the issue of just half episodes.
Yeah.
And ReZero is one of my all-time favorites. I mean, there's a reason I wear the Subaru Natsuki jacket while streaming.
So, what's better, Mushoku or ReZero?
Do you want my objective or subjective opinion on that matter?
I don't know which one is better. I guess objective.
Objectively, I think Mushoku Tensei is better written. Just slightly, because it has a better fantasy world.
My man.
Subjectively, ReZero means a whole lot more to me, just because of the influence it had on my life when I entered college. So, I personally would put ReZero over Mushoku Tensei on subjectively any day. But
Yeah.
They are literally, like, if you ask me, top two anime, if either one, or top two isekai, if you like either one of those, like, you're okay.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care if you dislike the other one. If you at least like one of them, we're cool.
Yeah, Mushoku Tensei is probably my favorite anime of all time. Just like you with ReZero, I got into college with this anime. I was in college when it aired, so it's one of my favorites of all time. Yeah, so as you all saw, we just went through everything, and before I ended off, Crimson, because I know a lot of people already know what my top animes are. What would you say is maybe a top 5 for you of this anime season?
This anime season?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it hasn't started airing yet, but I do know the content of the story that's going to be coming because I read the light novels. I would say ReZero, Apothecary Diaries, like from 1 to 5 here.
Yeah.
Top down. Dad's Been Reincarnated, Solo Leveling, and Shangri-La Frontier. In that order.
Wow, those are some good picks. Now, what would you say is just to the chat listening and everything? What would you say are probably your favorite animes of all time? Not like any top, because I feel like that's very hard unless you do have them. But just to get people to get to know you, man.
I do have kind of an organized list, but I'll just give a couple of random ones here. Naruto. I've already said ReZero. Love is War, Hyoka, and Horimiya.
Nice. Nice. Those
There
are
are some other ones in between there. There's Frieren, Mob Psycho, Hunter x Hunter, Mushoku Tensei. They're all in the top 10.
Gotcha. Yeah. I guess since we're getting to know each other, I do want to let you know. So I just pulled up my anime list screen. I know it's going to take a bit for it to load on the chat, but I would say some of mine favorite, as I've already mentioned, Mushoku Tensei, Eden Zero. SAO was unfortunately my first anime, so I have a very strong bias towards it. But
That's why Naruto is on the list for me. Well, technically Dragon Ball was my first, but Naruto was the one that really sold me on anime.
I'm a big romance fan, as you see, so I got 100 girlfriends. I love Shikimori as much as it gets hated. Promised Neverland Season 1. Go read the manga after.
I have the whole box set, and I still need to go read it.
Yeah, I like Urusei Yatsura's remake that came out as well. I think my whole chat could tell you, because it's one of my favorite animes. But yeah, that's to give you a good taste. I mean, I'm watching Pokemon and Beyblade still, even though I got out of them for the longest time, and I just came back into them probably like a year ago. I would say I got back into Pokemon and Beyblade. So I'm watching the newer series right now of them. And I gotta say,
is that Domestic Girlfriend at number 2?
No, this is 3D Kanojo, Real Girl.
Oh, okay.
No, I would never add Domestic Girlfriend.
It looked sort of similar to the cover. I was like, oh god. I have not seen anything other than the very first episode of that series, but I am perpetually told that it has one of the worst endings ever.
Yeah, I like 3D Kanojo. I know I told a lot of people that I think I told a couple people that probably are listening that it's one of my favorite romance. Not to like be very sentimental or TMI, but I used to be a lot like the main character, I feel like, of the show, and just kind of having a romance series that actually deals with the couple arguing. The couple is in a relationship in the very beginning. That's always something I've always liked and everything. It's why I like Shikimori and stuff. But the couple argues. They have life problems, right? It's not a harem, and every guy and girl end up with each other basically. Like they're 3 different couples. So, and
Are you familiar with Wotakoi?
Yes.
That sounds similar to that.
Yes, it actually came out the same season as Wotakoi, which is probably why it got overshadowed. But yeah, no, I like Wotakoi. It's very good. I don't know if this is your taste personally, but if you want to see an interesting perspective in romance, I highly recommend it. I know it's not really the most loved series from people I've talked to, but you know me as you do now.
Just because something is popular doesn't mean it's going to be good to you.
Exactly. I'm not, like I said, I don't ride the bandwagon with people. I used to, and I realized I don't like a lot of shows that I like from that. So
I was in a similar position, but we can take it more to like the cultural war stuff that it technically is still going on. I did a lot of like the grifting, or some of the grifting when my channel first started, and quickly realized I don't want to sit here and fight people over topics I don't really know much about, just because I feel like it'll get me clicks. I'm just gonna do the stuff that I actually enjoy. Now I'm exclusively anime. So to answer Kyo's question, condition called love. Too shoujo for me. Not a bad series, just not one of the things I want to watch. Love is Indivisible by Twins. I dropped it after a couple of episodes because I don't know. It was one of those things where I was like, this is so unnecessarily like relationship drama heavy that I just don't care anymore.
Yeah, as you can see, Condition Called Love is probably one of my favorite romances. But like I told you, man, I like the relationships. I want to watch shows where they're already in kind of a relationship already.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, that's another thing I like about they don't start out that way. But with Sweat and Soap and Wotakoi, they definitely get there really, really fast. So I do like those elements of it.
Of course.
Where they're like within the first few chapters are already together.
Yeah, I was raging. Arceus can attest. The Twins was airing. Yeah, because I read a little bit of the manga of the Twins show, and for whatever reason, like here we go, Ubel Blatt again, right? They like really turned the manga or the anime into a like really bad like drama romance, which is why I have it as a 5 right now, and I don't know why I completed it, but me and Kyo were like ranting to each other just weekly, and I'm like, what the hell? Like I was so confused for someone that read a little bit of the manga of it and just was confused why there was so much drama and so much like unnecessary BS. Like
that's how I felt. I'm glad to see I'm not the only one. Because that's like the big reason I dropped it, is like it felt like it was so unnecessarily drama heavy as far as their relationship goes. Like honestly, if you ask me, like the chick he was dating first was the best fit for him. They had the better chemistry.
Yeah. I agree.
And of course she had to feel guilty about it, and I was like, who gives a fuck? You won.
Yeah.
You won. Focus on your own happiness. Stop self-sacrificing and then regretting it.
Yeah. So yeah, this is our opinions. Again, thank you, Crimson, for being on here. I apologize for making this about 3 hours long. It was not my intention, but I had a really good chat with you, man, and I thank you for everyone joining the stream and commenting. It really means a lot. And again, please check out my boy Crimson. I put his Twitter and YouTube in the description. He makes some really great videos. I think we've been following each other for a good bit, but after seeing a lot of your takes, and I think we were just commenting on each other on our posts and stuff, we started just getting along a lot better, or just kind of talking more. And I was like, I really want to have like a live with you. And then after watching a lot of your videos, I'm like, this is a cool guy. So please, he deserves the support. He's a really good guy. So yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not just shooting for 1,000 this year. I'm going all the way for 2,000 if I can this year. So I'm gonna try and make that happen.
Awesome. Yeah. Again, thank you, Crimson, for joining us. Again, thank you, the chat, for people coming on here. And yeah, we're gonna that'll be a wrap, guys.